So you tell me if that's too loud or is that okay? All right, okay. Let's check your level and make sure that you're okay here. Give me a check.
Check.
A little bit more. Go ahead.
Check.
There you go, perfect. Okay. Metcalf was able to hold that, but they stayed with the puck back behind the net. Blue got it, took a chance out in front to Zeal with a tap in that will score. Parks out of the shotgun, takes the snap, stepping, looking, back shoulder fade to Mackey, and he catches it for a Red River touchdown.
It's time for the best in local sports coverage with KNOX Live Sports and News Radio 1310 KNOX.
Puck goes through to the high slot, picked up Lovejoy, wrister, and he scores. Reardon working right side, defended the entire way. A stop by Dookie. She looks into J.C. Reardon, the high-low is there.
The following is a presentation of KNOX Live Sports, presented by Rivard's Turf and Forage and Grand Trailer Sales.
Off to the right, down to the doorstep. Hoganson, a backhander, he scores. What a play for Griffin Hoganson.
Let's go live to tonight's presentation.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We welcome you tonight to Blue Line Iceplex, formerly known as Eagles Arena here in Grand Forks, probably still known as Eagles Arena in Grand Forks to a number of individuals. Tonight, we should have a really solid girls hockey matchup in store for you this evening as the Grand Forks Knightriders come home to take on the Fargo Davies Eagles. This will be a battle of number 3 versus number 5 in the state standings coming into tonight. And if the Knightriders want to entertain the opportunity of catching Fargo North-South for a league regular season championship, the number 1 seed going into the state tournament, these are points that they're going to have this evening here at Blue Line Iceplex as they take on a team that's hungry to try to move up the standings as well. It's Fargo Davies taking on Grand Forks and the Knightriders tonight here at Blue Line Iceplex. Ryan Cunningham, Danny Mardo with this one tonight. The Knightriders come into this one hungry, Danny. I mean, obviously you're getting to that point in the season when you're in the statewide standings. You have an extra week than the boys because you can keep playing for points during that week of the East Region Tournament. But right now there's a 5-point separation in the standings between the Knightriders and the Spruins down in Fargo. And so if you want to get up there and catch them for that number 1, you want to catch Legacy Bismarck for number 2, you've got them both in front of you, but this is probably one that you have to have tonight.
Yeah, and it's one of those where they just played these guys a couple weeks ago, and it was a good game down in Fargo, so they should know what to expect. And, yeah, you got to take this game first because Legacy's coming this weekend too. So
absolutely, yeah. Legacy, the number 2 team in North Dakota. We'll talk about that coming up in a second. One of the interesting things that jumps off the page about these teams is that they're full. They've got full lineups. You know, sometimes in girls hockey, you start to wonder, you know, if you can field 4 full lines, if you can go out there with 3 defensive pairs. But it seems like both of these teams, they're both dealing with an injury right now here and there, but they're full. And so they made it to this point in the season with their tools intact at this point.
Yeah, and that's huge. If you can roll 4 lines and get everyone playing time, and then by the end of the season, everyone's more confident, and then you know, you build up a confidence with them, and so then everybody's ready to go. As opposed to, you know, you get some teams that maybe get a full roster and then kind of rely heavily on 1-2 lines or 1-2 players. But yeah, so it's good for them that they're full and rolling them. So.
Absolutely, both teams have an opportunity to have good rosters coming in tonight. Danny, you've seen this Knightriders team a handful of times throughout the course of the season. On paper, they look like a team that's obviously solid. They look like a team that's built defense first, but they look like a team that might be looking for a little additional scoring right now. You've seen them play. Tell us a bit about what you've seen from the Knightriders this season.
Yeah, it's kind of been up and down. You know, if you look at the, you know, points, stats, kind of dominated by 2 players. But I don't know that that's actually the tale of how the season has gone. I think there's been girls that have struggled to put pucks in the net that normally do, and the last few weeks it's been coming for them. And their back end starting to get points now, which is what was big for them last year. So they're starting to feel that a little bit too. And then to me, it all starts with the very back end and the goaltending. If they get solid goaltending and then they work their way up, I think the scoring will come. It just has taken a little bit to get there.
Well, and there's some very familiar names on this team that we've seen the last couple of years as far as playmakers for the Knightriders. But when you mention back-end scoring, One of those players that's not around this year is Maya Manassa. She did a lot of really, really good things for this Knightrider team, so they had to find a replacement there. It seems like they've really solidified on the blue line, having the opportunity to step in with somebody out of the lineup due to graduation.
Yeah, and they have an 8th grader back there, and she's done a nice job, and she's gotten more confident as the season has gone on, and I look for her in going years, especially, and not just this season, but going forward too, to take a big jump offensively, kind of be a spark that replaces kind of a Maya in a way.
Sure.
When the other players, most of them returned, Reese Mahar has now moved up to forward a little bit, so their back end is everyone was here last year, so they know what to expect, and now they're starting to chip in offensively too, and taking care of the back end is what they do best, and now they're chipping in offensively. So.
And Fargo Davies, one of the names that jumps off the page is Megan Supas. She's a pretty good goaltender for Fargo Davies. Obviously, that'll be a name that jumps off, so they'll be up against a team doesn't give up a whole lot of scoring either, so goals may be at a premium in this one coming up tonight.
Yeah, and when we played down in Fargo, it was a really good hockey game, and Fargo Davies has some girls that can get up and down the ice. That caused a little bit of problems for us, or for the Knightriders when they played them down there, and they hit a couple pipes, and we found a way to get a couple in. So should be another good one today.
It should be a great one tonight. Fargo Davies comes to town to take on the Grand Forks Knightriders. We bring it to you courtesy of our premier sports partners. They include Rivard's Turf and Forage, a premium seed dealer in Grand Forks. You can find them online at rivards.com. And also brought to you by Grand Trailer Sales, your home for all things trailer in East Grand Forks. And speaking of East Grand Forks, the Green Wave are on the air tonight as well on KNOX Live Sports. Sam Jensen is over right now at the East Grand Forks Civic Center Arena, where East Grand Forks goes up against Thief River Falls. That should be a really good girls hockey matchup, and they got started before we did. They're just underway in that one, getting started at 6:30 tonight. So you can catch that one on KNOX Live Sports as well. We've got really good girls hockey in the Grand Cities tonight. And tonight, it'll be the Knightriders and Fargo Davies, and we'll have more in our pregame report, presented by Signature Graphics and Apparel and True North Equipment, coming up here in just a couple of moments. So do stay with us. We'll come back and take a look at the complete league standings that we have coming into today, and also get you ready for the players to watch in this one tonight. This is our coverage of high school hockey. It's Grand Forks, the Knightriders, and the Fargo Davies Eagles, here on the Rivard's Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network and KNOX Live Sports on YouTube and KNOXradio.com.
Rust, salt, and time are the biggest enemies for a fuel tank. Never fear, because Grand Forks Welding is here to take care of your enemies for you. We not only fix or patch your tanks, but we can custom fabricate any kind of replacement fuel tanks or service unit. Go to grandforkswelding.com.
Your family deserves clean, filtered water. High Plains Water offers Millennium Drink Water System, which delivers great tasting water and also eliminates harmful impurities. Professionally installed and maintained by High Plains Water of Grand Forks. See them at highplainswater.com.
Big Jim's Tire is the area's #1 farm and ag tire supplier, and with harvest here, you want the best. Best tires, best service, and Big Jim's will get it done fast to get you moving again. Big Jim's Tire, Grand Forks.
Today, the PS stands for proper service for your home, farm, or business, which is what you'll get from the team at PS Garage Doors in Grand Forks. Whether you need a door fixed or just thinking about replacing what you already have, get your proper service at psgaragedoors.com.
Nothing feels or performs better than a properly fitted golf club. Whether it's irons, driver, or putter, call us today for your free club fitting. For over 30 years, the Golf Center in Grand Forks has been your club fitting leader.
Valley Truck in East Grand Forks is proud to support our local high school athletes. With over 400 years of combined experience, they keep our community moving on and off the field. Trusted repairs, quality parts, and support for the next generation.
ProAg in Grand Forks and Grafton carries the equipment and parts on hand to make your farming operation run smooth. They carry all major brands like Honeybee, Alloway, Amity, Artex, Hardy, Capello, Monosem, Pickett, Wilrich, and Black Ace. So whether you're trading in, buying, or just need parts, go to ProAgEquip.com to see everything ProAg has to offer.
We very much take a lot of pride in our work. Customer service has always been our #1.
We have the best materials. You're going to have the best people in the area to do the job.
If you can dream it up, we can make it happen. or head to gworkslf.com to get started.
From tears in your car, truck, boat, or farm equipment seats to making boat covers or complete restorations of the interior of your hot rod, Finest Auto Trim in Grand Forks can make the inside of your rides look brand new. Big or small, Finest Auto Trim can cover it all. To get a quote, go to finestautotrim.com.
This is the KNOX pregame show. Brought to you by True North Equipment. True to your values, driven by you. And Signature Graphics and Apparel. Make your vision come to life.
Welcome back to our coverage of high school hockey on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network. KNOX Live Sports. Ryan Cunningham, Danny Mardo tonight from the Blue Line Iceplex, formerly known as Eagles Arena here in Midtown Grand Forks. The Knightriders are at home tonight to take on the Fargo Davies Eagles in a pivotal matchup inside the statewide hockey standings. Our pregame report tonight is brought to you by Signature Graphics and Apparel. It's your vision. Make it come to life at Signature Graphics and Apparel. And brought to you by True North Equipment, true to your values and ready to serve you with 10 locations throughout the Red River Valley. Whether it's sales or service, they'll get you ready to go for the upcoming agricultural season. Well, let's talk about why it is that this game matters tonight with Drive for the Title. We'll take a look at our complete conference standings. You can see those on your screen now. And the first thing you want to pay attention to will be the numbers right in the middle of the screen. That's the point standings, and it's a statewide conference for those of you that might not have a lot of familiarity with girls hockey in North Dakota. There are 12 teams, and 8 of them make the state tournament, so the first cutoff on your screen right now is between Minot United and Jamestown. Minot United with 14 points in the statewide standings, Jamestown with 12. You can see based on the numbers that Jamestown's in a situation where they've got a few games in hand on Minot United, but I believe Minot United just scored a win over Jamestown recently. So that's the cutoff right now. North of Jamestown would be in the state tournament if the state tournament started today. Then you look on the top side of the screen, north-south, the Spruans with a 38-point number in the Eastern, or I should say rather in the statewide conference standings. Right now that's 2 points better than Bismarck Legacy / Bismarck. Legacy Bismarck has a co-op, and it's 5 points better than the Grand Forks Knightriders, and Bismarck Century would be the number 4 team right now with 30 points. This Davies team, 25 points. They've got 7 wins, 6 losses, 2 wins in overtime inside the statewide standings that were worth a couple of points there. So when you get into it, you've got a couple of wins in overtime, but that means 15 games have been played. Grand Forks has played 13 games, the same number as North-South. So right now, with this win, if they could get it tonight, Danny, Grand Forks takes a step in being in the top half almost assuredly, but you have to keep pace with the Spruans. And North-South has been kind of the beast to chase in the regular season for the last couple of years. They are again. I'm sure the Knightriders would like a chance to catch them, but you can't catch them unless you get Davies tonight. And as you mentioned, Legacy Bismarck, the number 2 team, coming into town this weekend.
Yeah, I think you just got to stay focused at the task at hand. And yes, obviously, North-South is kind of the staple that everyone is trying to get to. But you can't worry about catching them by looking at where they're at in the standings and when you play them next, because you got to get the rest of the points, because they're not looking past anybody, and that's why they're sitting at top.
One of the things that's interesting about tonight, though, is if you take a look at today's schedule on the right-hand side of your screen, we're the only game in town. A lot of boys' games coming up tonight. I know that East Grand Forks is down at Moorhead tonight, taking their chance at the Spuds. I think Red River is at Fargo Davies in boys hockey tonight. So normally Tuesday nights see a lot of boys activity. Sometimes the girls play during the week. Sometimes they'll play the weekend rotation because of going out west. But it's kind of odd to be the only ball game on the schedule tonight for points of the league, or for that matter, the only game in town, period. So we'll take it.
Yeah, seems a little odd, but yeah, the girls end up playing a lot more games on the weekend just because of the travel with the Western swings and stuff. So
yeah, they go out, and you can describe this as, is Minot Williston a swing, or is Minot Dickinson a swing? How do they handle that?
So last year it was not. It was Williston Bismarck, Dickinson Bismarck, and then I think it was Mandan Minot.
Ah, all right.
And now this year they changed it, so it's Williston and Minot, and then Dickinson, Legacy, and then Century and Mandan.
All right, so you like to swing out to Bismarck when you're playing Century and Mandan because you're not going anywhere the next day.
Correct.
versus having to get on the road and go someplace else the next day. And, it's really a testament to just kind of, having the fortitude to pull this thing together when you've got 12 teams and you have a statewide league, and some of those teams are in the middle and they can go everywhere. Bismarck, Jamestown, they've got the advantages. If you're on one end, you got to go to the other one. It's a lot of bus miles that the girls put on to play the game.
And I will say they do a nice job of, because they pair teams. So, like, the Knightriders' travel partner is Devil's Lake. So, like, this weekend we go to Dickinson, and I'm assuming Devil's Lake will play Bismarck on Friday.
Sure.
And then they flop them. So you're getting at least 2 games when you come. I don't know what happened with the whole Williston-Minot thing, because Minot came on a random Thursday, and then Williston came on a Saturday. So I don't know what happened to that pairing, but
it worked out anyway.
Yeah.
Right? And maybe it was one of those situations where Williston went to Devil's Lake on the same night that Minot came here, or whatever the case may be. It's kind of a collegiate structure, really. You have a travel partner and you play 2 games on the weekend and they make it work. It's just the commitment to having to go all the way across the state and have your weekends eaten up instead of being able to play during the week. It tells you what the girls go through when they're trying to play this game.
Yeah, and you know what, though? Coach Kilgore might have a different say in this because he's got to actually be on the bus and in the hotel with them. But
sure.
Really, the trips, the bus trips, if you talk to the players and in the last couple of years, coaching baseball and whatever, you do a senior night, and it's the trip to Sioux Falls was our funnest. So the kids enjoy the bus trips, the kids enjoy the hotels, and the kids enjoy all that. So, yeah, they get to play the games in between, but at the end of the day, they're still kids, and they enjoy that stuff. So
a lot of good experiences in it. We'll take a break in our pregame report, brought to you by Signature Graphics and Apparel and True North Equipment. And as we continue here tonight, we'll come back and take a look at the players to watch in this one with our tools for the game. So stay with us. Our pregame report continues in a couple of moments. And it's Knightriders hockey tonight as they take on the Fargo Davies Eagles on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, KNOX Live Sports on YouTube and KNOXradio.com.
It takes attention to detail. With your local Bryant dealer, you're getting someone who pays attention to the little things that make a big difference. And to keep your family cool this summer, it takes Bryant.
Connect with Thermal Air today, your Bryant certified dealer.
In Grand Forks, it's about more than just where you live. It's about the people you trust when life happens. At Logan Karski State Farm, we're proud to protect what matters most. I'm Logan Karski with State Farm, and we'd be honored to be your good neighbor.
When the lights go out, count on the pros. Bergstrom Electric in Grand Forks, the area's largest full-service electrical contractor. From commercial builds to homes, they're trusted for quality, safety, and award-winning work. Call today, 701-775-8897.
When you need the right part for your pickup, head to Northwood or call Mike's Custom Truck. Amanda will drop ship any part you need. Turbos, upgraded fuel pumps, Edge products, and more. Mike's Custom Truck, 587-6335.
Nelson Auto in Grand Forks is proud to sponsor area athletics. We know the value of a good team, and we'd like to invite you in to meet our team. See how our team takes care of you and your family. Nelson Auto at Grand Forks, home to Ford, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram.
When you're in pain, you need more than just a doctor. You need a problem solver. Count on All True Orthopedics and Sports Medicine and get back to what moves you.
Hey, this is Pastor Paul. I'd like to welcome you to Hope Church, especially if you're a person that doesn't have a place where you hang out spiritually. We would love for you to come and experience hope and find God. Hope Church, 9, 10:30, and 6 p.m. on Sundays. For more information, you can check out gfhope.org.
Pick 6 for $19.99, a perfect meal for 2.
That's gotta rhyme.
Well, how about munching on Pick 6, my mouth going yap yap. People always staring at my wings, they go flap flap. Davis so surprised because he didn't know I'd rap. Pick 6 meal for 2 for $19.99.
H&S Electrical Services is proud to support local high school sports. From homes to industry, we deliver safe, reliable electrical solutions. Locally owned and operated, our skilled team ensures quality and service you can trust. H&S, trusted in your homes and businesses.
This is the KNOX pregame show, brought to you by True North Equipment, true to your values, driven by you. And Signature Graphics and Apparel, make your vision come to life.
Welcome back to our coverage of high school hockey on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network. KNOX Live Sports tonight from Eagles Arena, or Blue Line Iceplex now, formerly known as Eagles Arena in Grand Forks. It'll be Grand Forks and the Knightriders going up against the Fargo Davies Eagles tonight. Pivotal statewide matchup this evening, number 3 versus number 5 in the North Dakota girls hockey standings this evening. Ryan Cunningham, Danny Marto with you here tonight. Let's take a look at our tools for the game this evening, the players to watch in this one tonight, and that's brought to you by State Farm Insurance and Logan Karski, your agent in Grand Forks. And Logan Karski and State Farm Insurance ready to put together a pregame and a game plan for you to protect all that is important to you: home, auto, life, health, farm, business. They have you covered at State Farm Insurance. Logan Karski, your agent at State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Now, the obvious part of this one, Danny, do you happen to know that girl that is leading the Knightriders in scoring? Her last name is Mardo Elena? Is that how that works? Is that you happen to know her, Danny?
A little bit.
Okay, all right. You're familiar with her, right?
A little bit.
Remember, tonight when you're watching her play, you don't just get to single out all the weaknesses in her game. You can't do that. Like, hey, she should have done this, she should have done that. You can't do that, okay?
I try to keep those to myself.
Okay, very good. All right, we've got something to work with here. For Fargo Davies, Hudson Hofer leading the team in scoring with 17 points on the season. 10 goals to go with that. Sophia Rarick, 9 goals and 6 assists for 15 points on the year. And Annika Astrup, 5 goals and 8 assists for 13 points this season. Just a little bit more scoring on the Grand Forks Knightriders side of things. Elena Mardo with 22 points, 18 goals on the year, having a great season scoring. Chesney Sigdahl, 9 goals and 7 assists for 16 total. And Ella Yana, 4 goals and 7 assists for 11 points. And Ella has come on as of late. She's done some scoring the last few weeks for the Grand Forks Knightriders. That's given them a little bit extra balance, but that's been a pleasant thing to see come along for a sophomore for the Knightriders.
Yeah, she really has. She's kind of found her groove, and then Ella Bry, who's not on that list, has also kind of come on as of late, and it is starting to chip in offensively as well. So
yeah, she's been amongst the leaders up until Yana's kind of gone on her run as of late, and that's why there's just a little bit of balance there that is nice to see. You want to see that happen in the course of really the middle of the season. More options, somebody rises up and gives you an opportunity to do some fun things.
Yeah, and it also gives him an opportunity to kind of move players around and switch up the lines and see what kind of chemistry is going in, because yes, these points are big, but the end game, right, is the last game of the season. And
yes.
So if you can kind of figure out some things, who works well together and do whatever, when you're getting balanced scoring, that's a lot easier to do.
Absolutely. The other part of it, too, is that we did hear from Coach Kelly Kilgore when he gave us his line sheet tonight that he said this could be a hot mess that changes rapidly for some odd reason. Now, I'm not sure why, but he said that they could be making some serious changes on the fly tonight.
Well, in his defense, the last 2 weeks have not been real great for the Knightriders. They've sustained some injuries, and so he's been, him and his coaching staff have been juggling on the fly kind of on a regular basis as of late. So he's probably hoping that they stay the same. But
well, a little insight there. Obviously, when you're trying to deal with coming back from some injury, that can be a difficult thing to do. But they're pretty much full. They're missing one winger up at the front end. They're missing a defenseman, our defensive player on the back end as well. Tonight they'll start Claire Fiala in the goal. And, you know, this is interesting. Kylie Schmaltz has played 10. Claire Fiala's played 4. So a little bit of back and forth there. Maybe some competition for the job. Maybe just trying to get an extra goalie experience coming through the night. And this is a good team to start somebody new against here this evening.
Yeah, actually Claire saw these guys in Fargo, so a little bit familiar with that. And yeah, I think she got the game against Devil's Lake, so maybe trying to give Kylie a little bit of a rest.
Sure.
I don't know that there's anything injury-wise going on there. That
sure.
Just, you know, I mean, you start every game, it gets to be a lot of pucks and you know, wears on you. So both have played good of late, so just keep that rolling.
A lot of pucks, a lot of time, obviously. But the Knightriders in fairly good shape there. And, again, just a little bit of a scoring edge coming into this one tonight, but a pretty balanced team for Fargo Davies as well, which is one of the keys that really both teams are going to have this evening is a little bit of balance. We'll take another break in our pregame report. When we come back, we'll run through the keys for tonight's matchup, get ready with our starting lineups. We do have those available to us, and we'll get ready to throw the puck down here at Blue Line Iceplex Eagles Arena. It's the Fargo Davies Eagles coming into town to take on the Grand Forks Knightriders tonight on the Rivards Turf and Forage, Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, and KNOX Live Sports.
It's game day, and whether you're feeding the family or the entire team, Hugo's is the place to go. Score big with favorites from the meat department, delicious fresh veggies, and don't forget about the bakery to celebrate the big win. Hugo's Family Marketplace, your game day headquarters.
Thief River Glass handles it all. Aluminum storefronts, auto glass, windows, shower enclosures, and more. Just like our athletes, we're built for every season. No job is too big or too small. Call 218-681-1333 for year-round dependable service.
When you're looking for a change of pace, a change of routine, or a change of scenery, we'll help you find what's next. Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. For you, for life.
Ready to launch your future? At Northland Community and Technical College, opportunity starts here. Train for high-demand technical and skilled trades or start with an affordable Associates of Arts degree and transfer with ease. Visit northlandcollege.edu.
The Kubota BX Series, rated #1 in durability and owner experience. Talk to your Kubota dealer to schedule a demo.
For expert sales and service, visit Acme Equipment or online at acmekubota.com.
The body shop you work with is your choice, so pick the local team with the service you trust. Modern Auto Body in Grand Forks can make it look like the accident never happened. Schedule an appointment for an estimate on our website or give us a call.
Whether it's a golf course, your lawn, a pasture on your farm, cover crop, or even a food plot to help you get that big buck, Rivards Turf and Forage of Grand Forks has developed, mixed, and packaged the premium specialized seed you need for almost every application. Go to rivards.com.
Rivals on the ice, united in the stands, and everyone's geared up from Jarrell Sports Center and Hockey World. Hockey gear, fan apparel, Nodak Pride, we've got it all and more. Locally owned, 1004 South Washington Street. Shop local, shop Jarrell's.
Grand Trailer Sales in East Grand Forks is your go-to spot for enclosed utility, flatbed, and dump trailers in the Red River Valley. They have the biggest selection on hand of trailers with great pricing. If you're looking for parts, service, or simply to buy, GrandTrailersSales.com.
This is the KNOX pregame show, brought to you by True North Equipment, true to your values, driven by you. And Signature Graphics and Apparel. Make your vision come to life.
Welcome back to our coverage of high school hockey on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, KNOX Live Sports. Tonight, it's the Fargo Davies Eagles coming to town to take on the Grand Forks Knightriders in girls hockey action. Ryan Cunningham, Danny Mardo with you here this evening. Let's take a look at our keys for the game here tonight. They're brought to you by Jarrell Sports Center and Hockey World, and we'll start with the keys for the Fargo Davies Eagles coming into tonight. They need to get off to a stronger start. This is an Eagles team. This is shocking when you take a look at the numbers. They've been outscored 19-5 in the first period of games this year, and you would not expect that from a team that has been in the top half of the league. And also more production, 2.88 goals per game right now, which is not a bad number. But in the long run, when you're being outscored in the first period and you're coming in under 3 goals a game, well, you wouldn't expect to see those numbers from Fargo Davies when you watch them play. But 19-5 in the first period kind of stands out, Danny.
Yeah, that's a little shocking. I'm really surprised by that, actually.
Yeah, I was as well when I took a look at it today. So for Fargo Davies, getting off to a stronger start is definitely going to be one of their keys that they have for tonight. Now our keys to the matchup for the Grand Forks Knightriders that they have for this evening. As we mentioned, they're built on defense first. They're only allowing 2.14 goals against and only 20 shots on goal allowed per game. This is a team that's committed to blocking shots and turning some things around. But here's something they do need to turn around. They got to turn around penalties. They've taken 50 of them this season. Their opposition's only taken 33. This team spent some time in the box this year, Danny.
They do, and obviously you got to turn that around. But when the Knightriders are really good, and why they give up less shots is their forecheck is really tenacious. And when they're on, they're going to create some penalties. They're going to get a checking penalty here. They're going to, I'm not making excuses for them, but some of them you're okay with, some of them you're not.
Yep,
but,
it's just one of those.
But 50's too many.
You want to eliminate the ones that you're not okay with at this point, still take the ones that you are okay with at this point. But 50-33 jumps off the page a little bit.
Yeah, that's not great.
Keys the Game brought to you tonight by Jarrell Sports Center and Hockey World. Stop in and see what's new for the season at Jarrell Sports Center and Hockey World. Jarrell Sports Center and Hockey World is ready to go to work for you when it comes to any pad, any skate, any stick, any tool for the game. You can find it at Jarrell Sports Center and Hockey World on South Washington and Grand Forks. Stop and see them at Jarrell Sports Center and Hockey World. With that, we're going to wrap up our pregame report. We'll get ready to call the action next. We have our national anthem coming up. We'll pause for our national anthem here at Blue Line Iceplex, and we'll come back with the start of tonight's matchup. It's Grand Forks and Fargo Davies on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network and KNOX Live Sports.
Signature Graphics in East Grand Forks is your one-stop shop for all your branding and design needs. From embroidery, vinyl wrapping, laser print, and more, fully customized from start to finish, all in-house. Signature Graphics. We craft your vision. You watch it come to life.
When you're in pain, you need more than just a doctor. You need a problem solver. Count on All True Orthopedics and Sports Medicine and get back to what moves you.
It's hard to explain what this feels like. We could try to put it into words, but nothing compares to experiencing it for yourself. You just have to get in the seat.
Visit True North Equipment at any of our 10 locations or at www.truenorthequipment.com.
Spray Advantage of Grand Forks carries everything you need for the chemical and fertilizer application on your farm. Pumps, tips, and tanks from 3 gallons all the way up to 10,000 gallons on hand. They can help with parts and accessories for the fertilizer and tillage equipment on your farm too. SprayAdvantage.com.
Apex Apparel is your quick turnaround apparel and promotional item shop in Grand Forks. If you're looking for direct-to-garment printing, embroidery work, or a huge selection of promotional items, come to Apex Apparel, your locally owned, family-run, quick turnaround apparel shop in Grand Forks.
The Ski and Bike Shop in Grand Forks. Gear up for ski season or hit the trails on a fat tire bike. At the Ski and Bike Shop, we offer top brands, ski and snowboard service, and everything you need for cold weather fun. The Ski and Bike Shop in Grand Forks, where your next adventure begins.
National anthem taken care of here this evening, and we get ready for the start of tonight's matchup between the Fargo Davies Eagles, the Grand Forks Knightriders. It's girls hockey tonight in the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network and KNOX Live Sports. Our starting lineups for tonight. First of all, for the visitors this evening, the Fargo Davies Eagles, the starting goaltender is Megan Supis, the starting defensive pair Hallie Bakken and Jasmine Diber, and the forwards up front will be Sydney Elliott and Ellery Wilcox and Elise Knapp. Elliott is the center, Wilcox on the right, and Knapp's on the left this evening for Josh Rogers, the co-head coach for Fargo Davies. For the Grand Forks Knightriders this evening, starting goaltender will be Claire Fiala. The starting defensive pair is Kendra Kuznia and Kiera Botnan. And the starting forwards this evening will be line number 2 on the sheet this evening. Ella Yana will bring them out with Chesney Sigdahl on her left and Nora Hale on her right. That's the starting lineup for Kelly Kilgore, the head coach of the Grand Forks Knightriders. Joey Springer has our videography work here this evening. We have a pretty nice crowd here tonight at Eagles Arena or Blue Line Iceplex for this one. Knightriders in some interesting gray uniforms, Danny. I don't know that I'm familiar with that color combination out there.
They got some new uniforms this year, so.
Okay.
I think the girls, this might be the girls' favorite. They do like their blacks, but hard to go black on black.
Yana brings one up into the offensive end and gets it back in the high slot. Put a shot in right away, and a big save by Supis as Yana found a way to turn right from the high slot and put a shot in pretty much on target on Supis. Supis had to be ready to make that stop. Full draw coming up in the Eagle zone.
Yeah, nice play.
Got the puck loose right away, and everybody kind of cleared out for her. Knightriders take control of a draw, and the puck will go into the corner where it'll be chased down by Hallie Bakken for Fargo Davies. Bakken turns it back towards the wall. Elliott trying to lead a breakout. This comes back to center. Ellery Wilcox getting away from pressure, and Davies chooses to change up behind it, but Wilcox will trail the puck all the way into the right corner. Springs free back there, and Nora Hale back to try to pick it up for the Knightriders. Then it's lost in the high slot. Comes to the right point, and we'll see Kate Frosley Winterston is pronounced with a Z. Frosley coming up with control of the puck and sent it back into the right corner. Knightriders trying to get back to it. Backhanded play by Yana on the wall. Turned it into the house. Puck gets deflected loose back to the near board. Sophia Rarick, one of the leading scorers for Fargo Davies, trying to chase that down. Put it back behind the net. Annika Astrup has it picked away. Kira Bottinen stepping in defensively to take one away from Astrup. But the Eagles getting some valuable offensive zone time right now. Sheely on the left point, drives one in. That hit a pipe and deflects just wide. That one got through a lot of traffic, and it didn't look like Claire Fiala saw that puck on the way in.
No, I don't think she saw that at all.
Not at all. Maybe a deflection on the way through. And again, the Eagles hold the puck in the right point. Finally sent back into the neutral zone. Davies back to get to it with the puck sent back down on the left by Sophia Rarick, and she'll go off at the end of her shift. Knightriders had a good rush off the draw, but since then, Fargo Davies been in the offensive zone for a good chunk of time, maybe about a minute and a half here for the Eagles in a scoreless battle. Puck out right point, Dybert for Fargo Davies, trailing one back into the corner. So roll back towards the far side and a scrum right out on top of the crease. A reach by Fiala to try to cover the puck. It's blasted out on the right, and this will be chipped back up the ice by Ava Walsh. Icing's on, but it will not be taken. Jasmine Dybert gets back to get to it for Fargo Davies. Dybert rotates back up through the neutral zone, and this will spring back towards the far side of the ice where we'll see an icing call against Fargo Davies. Boy, that was a long time in the offensive end for the Eagles.
Yeah, it's, they put on some good pressure, and the Knightriders did a nice job playing defense, minus the shot that Claire didn't see. But
yeah, I mean, they did. They didn't really give them a lot of open opportunities, but just struggled to get it out of the zone at that point. Knightriders pick up a loose puck. They'll send it back towards the slot, and this will be defended free by Hudson Hofer, the leading scorer for the Eagles, coming up the ice. Hofer had some position taken from her. Puck came out high, and Emmeline Amundsen picked it up in the neutral zone, but her team offsides. So we'll bring it back out on the Grand Forks Knightriders line for a draw with 14:33 to play in the opening period. We'll draw on the left-hand side of the ice as the Knightriders see it. And Annika Astrup will go to the dot and win the draw for Fargo Davies. Eagles bring it back with Emmeline Amundsen, then lose it to the neutral zone. But a battle for the puck is won by Fargo Davies and brought back up the ice by Sheely, who will trail one into the corner. Sheely's a defensive player, put it back behind the net. Loose puck gobbled up there by Hofer for Fargo Davies. She brings it to the point. Sheely taking a look again and risks one back into the right corner. Knightriders trying to gather to it right on the half wall. Play it up as far as the neutral zone. This will be plucked back into the Grand Forks Knightriders zone behind their net. And a good physical play by Annika Astrup of Fargo Davies to pin down the puck against the wall. It allows Rarick to reach, pull it free, and she fires a wrister that goes wide of Fiala on the left. Another good wrist shot for Fargo Davies. And again, it didn't look like Fiala really responded to that puck as it came through, and we'll see a draw coming up as the puck's out of play.
Yeah, Fargo Davies doing a nice job of getting the puck and going north and putting pressure on the Knightriders D, and Knightriders are struggling to get the puck up and out of their zone.
We'll draw to the left of Fiala, who gets the start tonight for the Knightriders. Puck comes out to the point. Frosley trying to fire one in off the draw for the Eagles. Ends up deflecting into the corner. Knightriders back after it, backhander through the neutral zone. This is going to come just wide of the net, and Davies will settle for the icing call, so we'll go back into the Knightriders zone for a draw. Our coverage of high school hockey tonight brought to you by PS Garage Doors. Call 772-DOOR. That's 772-DOOR for PS Garage Doors, where the PS stands for perfect service. If it's time for service on your garage door, it's time for PS Garage Doors. Played 3 minutes, 29 seconds. A pair of shots for Davies, one for the Knightriders. And we're scoreless. Puck loose behind the net off the draw. Bottinen stepping into it. And Hazel O'Connell, that 8th grader that Danny was talking about in the pregame report, stepping in for a touch. Puck will go back towards the left side. And the Eagles trying to get back after it. Ellery Wilcox off that first line, sending one back into the Grand Forks Knightriders zone. O'Connell will chase it down for the Knightriders back behind her own net. Rotates back into the neutral zone. And the puck will come free along the Knightriders line, but quickly put back into the Knightriders end. Sydney Elliott charging in, got a shot away, and there's a big save by Fiala. She'll hold on for the whistle and the draw, but it's a good test for Fiala early. That's a pretty good player, and Elliott coming in to get a shot away.
Yeah, that's a nice save. Knightriders are kind of fumbling around with the puck, and Davies is making them pay for it.
Fargo Davies has been in the offensive end a whole lot so far tonight. Puck off the left half wall, and a pass picked off, driven back to the wall by Nora Lord, one of the fourth liners for the Knightriders, and Lord will spring that back to the neutral zone. Jasmine Dybert back for it for Fargo Davies. Puck loose left wall, Kuznia trying to play it back out, got it to Lord on the near side. Lord had a rush developing, but a pass ends up going behind Jocelyn Kuhl. Kuhl will drive it down. They're going to say she was just behind that striped half line. That's going to bring us back into the Grand Forks Red River, I should say rather Grand Forks Knightriders end for a draw. Be some muscle memory tonight on that one, Danny. We're used to having the Rough Riders here, obviously.
Yeah.
We'll draw to the right of Claire Fiala, starting goaltender tonight, and Fargo Davies plays this one back through their own end. It's going to come near the net. Supis choosing for a transition play, sent it back to Kendall Sheely, who tries to rotate back towards the left wall. Good breakout play here for Fargo Davies. Simic put it back to the neutral zone. Pass was mishandled a bit, but good layered attack here. We'll see Kendall Sheely punching back up and trying to bring the puck back into the offensive end. Knightriders doing a pretty good job of challenging this, though, and this will end up floating back into the Knightriders zone. See icing against Fargo Davies. Looked like a pretty good breakout for the Eagles, but the Knightriders stood firm in their neutral zone. They were able to kind of cut that off.
Yeah, it was a nice play by the D to not just back away and give them space and put pressure on them. So
we'll draw coming up to the left of starting goaltender Megan Supis for Fargo Davies. And the draw ends up back in the corner. Race is on for it there. Nora Hale trying to chase it down for the Knightriders. And it was picked free, taken back out towards the far wall that time by Eliana. And the point is held momentarily. Elizabeth Kilgore trying to hold the offensive end. Ends up being blasted through and back into the Knightriders' end. Rotation back up on the near side for the Knightriders. O'Connell playing this one out. Pass looking left side, then a flurry towards the net. Good rush that time. Nora Hale couldn't quite get it cleanly. Sends it back towards the right for Eliana. Back to Hale in the corner. Loose into that corner now where Greta Henry steps in defensively for Fargo Davies. Behind the net, Sigdahl. Sigdahl coming out towards the near side. An opportunity for the Knightriders to skate with a puck a little bit here in the offensive end. And a drive that goes off the left side of the cage taken by O'Connell. O'Connell looking for her own shot. That eighth grader could step in defensively for the Knightriders.
Yeah, it was a good read. Get a shot on net and crash the net and hope for the best.
Puck will go back out into the neutral zone. Now it's the Eagles trying to gather to it. Sophia Rarick will turn this back into the Knightriders' end. Puck along the near side wall being battled for there. You can see a little contact there just off the end of the bench, and we're going to see a whistle. Looks like a hand pass has been ruled. And this is going to take us back into the Davies zone for a draw with 10:46 to play. Or will it be the Davies zone? They pointed towards the Davies end.
It's going down.
So it'll be a draw in the Davies zone. Timeouts and draws tonight brought to you by Apex Apparel and Promotions, your hometown quick turnaround family-operated promotional shop. And also brought to you by Big Jim's Tire, the #1 supplier of ag tires in the region. Chloe Groven will take the draw for the Knightriders. Puck goes loose to the near wall. Bry with a chance at it. Loose against the boards. A step in to play that down for Dusty Bollock, one of the starting defensive players for the Grand Forks Knightriders. Puck will come out to the near side boards for Rarick. Rarick ends up losing a handle, but got this back to Hudson Hofer. Hofer, good pick off her stick. Nice defensive jab that time for the Knightriders by Kira Bottanen that turned that rush away. And now a takeaway by the Knightriders as well as Chloe Groven steps in front of a pass and drives it back behind the Fargo Davies net. And Groven will line up there with Astrup looking for control. Astrup had it, then fumbled on a pass, and now tries to hold up one of the Knightriders. I believe it's Bry back behind the net. Puck to the right point for Bottanen. Ends up getting through her. A little 2-on-1. Odd player rush here coming up for the Eagles. Shot taken. Big save is made that time by Fiala on a wrister from Hudson Hofer. Hofer had the 2-on-1 coming up the ice. Had a pass to take, but she decided to take the shot, and Fiala stands tall for another save. Puck loose out in the neutral zone. Jabbed away again by one of the Eagles. The Knightriders are changing. Long range shot. Another save made by Fiala. That time as Olivia Simic got rid of the puck for Fargo Davies, and will draw in the Knightriders zone with 9:31 to play here in the opening frame.
Yeah, kind of back and forth now after a quick start by Davies.
Did have a quick start there, but as you mentioned, things trying to level out just a little bit here, it would seem. But in the long run, yeah, we got to get some work done when it comes down to trying to stay up in that offensive end a little bit. This has been pretty heavy up there for Fargo Davies. Puck back to the right point. Dybert for the Eagles. And Dybert taking a look, and looks like we're going to see a whistle. Play coming back into the Knightrider zone. I'm sure it must have went out of play along the bench. Sometimes we don't get a view of that bench from where we are right now. But Joey Springer, our camera operator, trying to bring you the biggest views that we can from the corner down there. Loose puck goes into the corner, being chased down by Kendra Kuznia for the Knightriders. Oh, back out in front of the net. Dangerous pass. Comes to the point. Bakken trying to drive one in for the Eagles. Ends up slipping it wide into the right corner. Come back towards the point, and a gathering for control of the puck there. Back to the neutral zone, and back to get to it was Elliott for the Eagles. This will be shoveled right back up into the Knightrider zone, and a loose puck that came off the wall a bit errantly that time. Long rush to get in there for Elena Mardo. And Mardo comes up the ice now for the Knightriders. Mardo trying to bring it across the line, took on 3 different defenders for Fargo Davies. Puck goes loose back to the Knightriders line, but it's held there by Hazel O'Connell. And a turn and a look, and O'Connell tries to break through and the center ice. O'Connell touches a shot in. That'll be sent out by Supis on a stick save. Works back towards the left wall. Regan Mahar trying to hold this one down. Loose puck back to Mardo on the left point. Mardo backhands it through a pair. Drew attention immediately, and the puck goes loose to the far boards where it's picked up by Jasmine Dybert for Fargo Davies. Then she has it taken away. Jocelyn Poole trying to rush in. Turned to play it back to the point, and that was picked off by McKenna Lavoie for the Eagles, who will turn it back into the Knightrider zone too strong, and that's going to take us to a media stoppage. We have a timeout for media with 7:56 to play here in the opening period. It's no score between the Knightriders and the Eagles on our All True scoreboard. This is our coverage of Knightriders hockey and Eagles hockey on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network.
Open all year round to the public, Eagles Crest offers space for holiday parties and family get-togethers. And of course, daily specials, appetizers, and all your favorites, including Sunday brunch buffets. Come in for the view and delicious meals at Eagles Crest Grill.
Whether it's a golf course, your lawn, a pasture on your farm, cover crop, or even a food plot to help you get that big buck, Rivards Turf and Forage of Grand Forks has developed, mixed, and packaged the premium specialized seed you need for almost every application. Go to rivards.com.
When you're in pain, you need more than just a doctor. You need a problem solver. Count on All True Orthopedics and Sports Medicine and get back to what moves you.
Welcome back to our coverage of high school hockey on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, KNOX Live Sports. Scoreboard updates brought to you by All True. Regular screenings with All True's care team can detect illness before symptoms begin. Stay in the game of wellness. Schedule an appointment, visit alltrue.org or call 780-5000. We draw in the Eagles zone with the Knightriders and the Eagles, no score. 7:45 to play here in the opening period. And the Knightriders trying to control a puck in their own end. It ends up on the left wall. Jocelyn Poole trying to pin it down. We've got a penalty coming up that apparently is going to go against the Eagles, it would appear, after they touch up. It's going to be a body checking call. And the first power play of the game is going somewhere, and let's see where it's going to go. They're going to talk about it here. Penalty will be at 9:25 of the first period. And it looks like Fargo Davies will lose the services of Olivia Simic, if we followed that correctly. No, it will not be Olivia Simic. The penalty is going to go against Jaden Melendez. So Melendez goes to the box for body checking at 9:25, and that's going to bring us to an RBB Electric power play, brought to you by RBB Electric. On call, on time, online, RBBelectric.com. Big opportunity here for the Knightriders. A drive by Mardo that goes just wide. Puck will come loose off the wall. Mahar trying to charge in. That one was sent back to the boards and will be cleared up ice by Kendall Sheely for Fargo Davies. Well, Danny, this is a big opportunity here for the Knightriders.
Yeah, it's a good opportunity to get at least momentum back on your side, if not score a goal here. But
absolutely. Minute 30 left to go on the power play clock. Knightriders looking for a breakout opportunity. Mardo comes across the ice, and a pass is picked off. Hudson Hofer comes up into the offensive end for the Eagles. right now just looking to consume some time, turning circles along the left wall, then makes a pass off towards the right. It'll be taken there by Dybert. Dybert sends one wide of the net. A step in off the left by Bakken, who tried to play it back towards the net, and now this comes back into the neutral zone as Sidney Elliott wasn't able to hold on. Knightriders had one good cycle on the power play, but down to a minute of it to go, and an errant pass has led to the puck coming back into the Davies end, or rather into the Knightriders end, as we see the puck now with Elena Mardo. She's being chased by Elizabeth Knapp from behind. Puck left towards the point, picked up there for the Knightriders by Eliana, and back into the neutral zone again. Puck all the way over to the far side. We're going to see a whistle coming up here, it would appear. And the Knightriders may have committed a violation that's going to bring them back into their own end. Let's see what the call is going to be here. They may be calling a penalty. Didn't see what happened in that situation, but if there is a penalty, the Knightriders would trade in 43 seconds of their power play. Well, let's see what we got here. Too many men. Too many players on the ice for the Knightriders. Penalty's going to come at 10:42. So it'll be too many player penalty on the Knightriders. 43 seconds of the power play seems to be destined to go away. The penalty will be sat by Kiera Botnan for the Knightriders. And so now we'll play 4-on-4. And I'll tell you what, Danny, in 4-on-4, it's anybody's ball game, isn't it? It really is.
It really is. Especially if you got some speed out on the ice. There's a lot more open room now. So
Hofer comes up with a touch for Fargo Davies. Puck comes off the wall, picked up there by Annika Astrup. She steps down towards the corner, being fronted towards the net by Chloe Groven, and now Groven comes up with a takeaway for the Knightriders. 24 seconds remaining of 4-on-4 hockey. Puck was lost behind Hazel O'Connell trying to get a charge up the ice. Knocked loose, O'Connell waves at it, but couldn't keep it away from Hudson Hofer, and Hofer steps back into the corner. Turns it back off the left wall, finding Kendall Sheely. Sheely loses it back into the corner, and the Knightriders will come away with it with Kendra Kuznia. And now the Knightriders will go on penalty kill. So we start another power play, only this one goes to Fargo Davies for 1:15. A shot gets blocked. Nice block shot that time coming in from Kendra Kuznia on a wrister from Sidney Elliott. Puck up against the near wall, got through all the way to the neutral zone. And back off to the Fargo Davies line where they make a transition pass they weren't ready for, and Mardo will clean the puck off the far wall. Boy, this takes a really funny hop back into the crease for some reason. No one home, and a charge at it that time by Bry. She came up just short. In the meantime, Elise Knapp comes up the ice, got a wrister away that flutters just wide. Puck off the end wall to Hallie Bakken, and Bakken got turned over. Bry will try to come up through the neutral zone shorthanded with 35 seconds left of the Fargo Davies power play. Bry got it up, lost the puck in front of her, and the loose puck's grabbed away by Sophia Rarick for the Eagles. Rarick off to the left for Jasmine Dybert. She comes clean, fires this one, knocked down in front of the net by Claire Fiala, and then transitioned back out with it standing right on top of the blue paint. Down to 10 seconds remaining of the power play for Fargo Davies, and the Eagles will pick it up for one more opportunity on a rush. Jaden Melendez will come up into the neutral zone. Power play comes to an end. And a loose puck through the left circle from Lauren Gravelin that ends up turning the puck back into the corner. Back off to the top of the circle now. Nora Hale will play it off the wall. And it looks like we may have another penalty coming up. Was it just offside? Are they going to get a penalty here against Fargo Davies?
No, I think they're calling Davies for a retaliation penalty.
Going to have a slashing call coming up here against the Eagles. The time of the penalty is going to be at 12 minutes and 52 seconds. And a slashing penalty has been called against Fargo Davies, which will give the Knightriders another opportunity on the power play. So it'll be another power play opportunity. Power play brought to you by RBB Electric. On call, on time, and online. RBBelectric.com. Slashing penalty taken by the Knightriders, or rather by the Eagles, and the Knightriders are back on the power play. Knightriders digging for a loose puck. Chloe Groven behind the net. Turns back off towards the left circle. Hudson Hofer seems to have been on the ice for about 3 straight minutes for the Eagles. She sends a pass up to Annika Astrup, who charges in from a steep angle. Ends up losing the puck. That didn't lose it, rather, but lost the angle back behind the net. and turned it back towards the net where Hazel O'Connell will step in for the Knightriders. 7 shots to 3 on the board right now in favor of Fargo Davies. Knightriders back on a power play opportunity. Step up the ice by Bry into the far corner, trying to chase down a loose puck. Hofer's back there, had it picked off her stick. Bry turned it back to the point for O'Connell, and there was Hofer again. I'll tell you what, Hudson Hofer's had about 3 good minutes of hockey for Fargo Davies.
Yeah, she's a good player. Moves her feet, always moving her feet.
Reads it well, that kind of thing. Here comes Chesney Sigdahl for the Knightriders. Sigdahl attacking the middle of the ice, looking near side, comes back towards the point, wants to survey her opportunities. Turns it back off towards the right wall for Bry. Bry being closed to Con. Good pass to the near side for O'Connell, just a little bit too steep. O'Connell couldn't find it. Comes back towards the half wall and back off on top. Sigdahl looking off towards the right circle. Bry, shot
good
picked
play.
up on a rebound in front of the net and a score for Grand Forks and the Knightriders. It'll be Dusty Bollock, the defensive player, that puts that one in for a power play goal. Time of the goal will be at 14 minutes and 35 seconds. And let's get a look at it again on the American Family Insurance Tyler Nagel Agency replay. This starts with a really good pass across the ice into the circle. The first shot leaves a wide open rebound, and there was Dusty Bollock to step in and poke that one home. And the Knightriders take advantage of the power play to go up 1-0.
Yeah, make the goalie move side to side. It was a nice low shot. Goalie made a nice save, but kicked it right out to Knightrider in front of the net.
Yeah, very timely rebound, and Dusty Bollock comes up with her 5th goal of the season. And Fargo Davies is offside, trying to come back up into the offensive end. So the first goal tonight for Dusty Bollock, and this is something you talked about, Danny, in the pregame report, some production from the back end. Now, that's on a power play, but still a defensive player trying to get involved in the scoring, always a good advantage.
Yeah, it's been, Knightriders like to have their D kind of play in front of the net on the power play, so you're starting to see them chip in a little bit more off the power play stuff, but always good to get points from your back end.
Absolutely. 1-0 in favor of the Knightriders. Now, again, the ice has been tilted in favor of Fargo Davies throughout most of the night. They've had a good first period, but Grand Forks comes away with a power play goal to break up the matchup's stalemate at 0. And Emmy Lynn Amundsen will turn one back in for Davies. It heads back towards the right corner. Kendra Kuzny over to pick it up. Lost the puck back in front. Annika Astrup stepped in for a touch. A chip off the wall this time by Reese Mahar, trying to chase it down for the Knightriders. But once again, we see Hudson Hofer coming away with it, able to skate free. Ended up having taken away in the neutral zone. Jocelyn Kuhl for the Knightriders up into the offensive end. Then chipped off the near side wall, and a pass back towards Annika Astrup. Ends up hitting her in the back of the skate, and she was too far up the ice. It'll be offside. And we'll draw coming up on the Knightriders line. 1:32 left of the opening period. Our draw is brought to you by Big Jim's Tire, your #1 supplier of egg tires in the region. And brought to you as well tonight by Apex Apparel and Promotions, your hometown quick turnaround, family-operated promotional shop in Grand Forks. Knightriders force the puck back into the Davies end. Good aggressive play over the top against Greta Henry, who is trying to hold up a puck for the Eagles. The Knightriders come away with it. They leave it out in front. A wave at that time by Jocelyn Kuhl. Couldn't quite find the puck cleanly. Back to the point. Touch up there for a moment for Kuznia. Now this will float back into the neutral zone. A charge by Astrup coming up the ice for the Eagles. Puck back over towards the right for Grand Forks. Kira Botman stepping up into the neutral zone. 1 minute to play of the period. Greta Henry up ice. Loses this one away. Loose puck's picked up by Nora Lord, who comes into the offensive end. Drops one back off to the right. Botman tries to dribble one through, and this will be covered up before by Megan Supis, before an opportunistic Elena Mardo came stepping in, looking for a loose puck right on top of the crease.
Yeah, it was a nice read by Nora Lord coming off the bench, and kind of in the middle of a line change, so she just held onto the puck and kind of let the troops come.
We'll draw off to the left of Supis. It comes back to the top of the circle. Now a bit loose in the neutral, actually in the high slot, before Sydney Elliott pulls it away for Fargo Davies. Elliott trying to fight off some pressure from behind as she made her way up the ice. Loose puck scoots off to the right. Nora Lord trying to bring it up the wall. Poked off the glass. Bakken is there for the Eagles. Bakken ends up losing control of the puck, and the Knightriders will ice it with the clock down to 18 seconds to go. Not a great result there for the Knightriders, just for the simple fact that give up that offensive zone draw with 18 seconds. That's a long 18.1 seconds still on the board.
Yeah, it is. I think she was thinking that someone was going to cut across the rink for a stretch pass there, and just never materialized, and now you're going to have to take a big draw in your own zone here.
Mardo will take the draw versus A-Strip in the Knightriders end. Mardo wins that draw, works out towards the near side. Puck played up the near side boards and floats into the neutral zone. Eagles try to hold on to it, but Mardo got it loose, and now an offside call coming up against the Knightriders with 6 seconds left. Coming up, we'll have our intermission report, take you through the scoring play that we have in the opening period. And we'll also run down some updates that we can get on some other games that are going on out there tonight. Boys hockey, lots of things going on, so stay with us for that. Puck sent back into the Fargo Davies end, and that's going to be the end of the first period of play. So Fargo Davies probably a little frustrated going into the second period or into the first period locker room, just from the standpoint that they played some pretty strong minutes out there in that period, don't have anything to show for it. In the meantime, Knightriders go into the locker room with a lead, 1-0.
Yeah, I think Davies had a good game plan. And that's probably their philosophy all the time. I don't see them enough, but both teams like to cause havoc on the forecheck, and Davies was making fits for or the Knightriders early in that period, and then it kind of went back and forth, but it just seemed like whoever had the puck in the offensive zone, the other team struggled to get it out.
Yeah.
It was more of a icing, let's reset the troops kind of feel to it towards the second half of that period.
And then that power play turns out to be very beneficial for the Knightriders, and they'll take the lead 1-0 on it. We'll come back with our intermission report brought to you by Grand Forks Welding and Machine and also by High Plains Water in a couple of moments after a period of play. The Knightriders lead the Eagles 1-0. This is our coverage of high school hockey on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network and KNOX Live Sports.
Rust, salt, and time are the biggest enemies for a fuel tank. Never fear, because Grand Forks Welding is here to take care of your enemies for you. We not only fix or patch your tanks, but we can custom fabricate any kind of replacement fuel tanks or service unit. Go to grandforkswelding.com.
Your family deserves clean, filtered water. High Plains Water offers Millennium Drink Water System, which delivers great tasting water and also eliminates harmful impurities. Professionally installed and maintained by High Plains Water of Grand Forks. See them at highplainswater.com.
Big Jim's Tire is the area's #1 farm and ag tire supplier, and with harvest here, you want the best. Best tires, best service, and Big Jim's will get it done fast to get you moving again. Big Jim's Tire, Grand Forks.
Today, the PS stands for proper service for your home, farm, or business, which is what you'll get from the team at PS Garage Doors in Grand Forks. Whether you need a door fixed or just thinking about replacing what you already have, get your proper service at psgaragedoors.com.
Nothing feels or performs better than a properly fitted golf club. Whether it's irons, driver, or putter, call us today for your free club fitting. For over 30 years, the Golf Center in Grand Forks has been your club fitting leader.
Valley Truck in East Grand Forks is proud to support our local high school athletes. With over 400 years of combined experience, they keep our community moving on and off the field. Trusted repairs, quality parts, and support for the next generation.
Pro Ag in Grand Forks and Grafton carries the equipment and parts on hand to make your farming operation run smooth. They carry all major brands like Honeybee, Alloway, Amity, Artex, Hardy, Capello, Monosem, Pickett, Wilrich, and Black Ace. So whether you're trading in, buying, or just need parts, go to ProAgEquip.com to see everything Pro Ag has to offer.
We very much take a lot of pride in our work. Customer service has always been our #1.
We have the best materials. You're going to have the best people in the area to do the job.
If you can dream it up, we can make it happen.
Or head to gworkslf.com to get started.
From tears in your car, truck, boat, or farm equipment seats to making boat covers or complete restorations of the interior of your hot rod, Finest Auto Trim in Grand Forks can make the inside of your rides look brand new. Big or small, Finest Auto Trim can cover it all. To get a quote, go to finestautotrim.com.
This is the KNOX Intermission Report, presented by Grand Forks Welding and Machine, the Men of Steel, and High Plains Water, your source for awesome water.
Welcome back to our coverage of high school hockey tonight on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network and KNOX Live Sports. Ryan Cunningham, Danny Mardo with you tonight from Eagles Arena or Blue Line Iceplex tonight, where we have the Knightriders in action against the Fargo Davies Eagles. And tonight, we do see some figure skating and some halftime entertainment. And the Grand Forks Knightriders lead by a score of 1-0 after a period of play. Our intermission report brought to you this evening by our friends at Grand Forks Welding and Machine. They are the men of steel at High Plains Water, your source for awesome water. Get a system from High Plains Water. Get the chemicals out of your water. Get the taste into it. And with a system from High Plains Water, you'll drink more water. You'll have cleaner laundry with less detergent. And you'll end up with appliances that last longer, and that saves you real money. High Plains Water, your source for awesome water. And Grand Forks Welding and Machine, the men of steel, they are here to get your implements ready for another year out in the field. So if you put them away with some boo-boos, whether you have holes that need tightening or you've got twisted or broken shafts or whatever the repair may be, get that to Grand Forks Welding and Machine so you can hit the ground running when it's time to get out and do our work again this year. A late first period goal on the power play for Dusty Bollock is the difference in this matchup. Fargo Davies outshoots the Knightriders 7-6, but boy, we come back to what we talked about in the keys of the game, Danny. Your Fargo Davies, you've now been outscored 20-5 in the first period this season. It just kind of makes you wonder what could be the reason. Is it puck luck? You got 7 shots off. You had some good offensive zone time. Not quite organized and sort of seated in to start the first period. It's an anomaly for the Eagles right now that I'm sure they're talking about as well.
Yeah, and really other than the first shot of the game on a turnover that the Knightriders got early and then the power play, I mean, the Knightriders had a little bit of offensive zone time, but it's not like they were putting up grade A chances. And on the flip side of that, I thought Davies played a really good period, hit a pipe early, like one off the side of the net that the goalie didn't see. A couple of those go in, and it's maybe a different story. So could be just they don't have any puck luck in the first period. I don't know. They played a really good period and had nothing to show for it.
It's an awful long season to not have any puck luck in the first period. We're sitting here in the last week of January, and we got a month to go in the season, but I think you're right. And they did take a couple of good chances. Claire Fiala had to make some big stops early for the Knightriders to kind of get them into the flow of the game.
Yeah, she was solid early. There was a couple early that I don't think she saw, and then I think they had Davies had a couple 2-on-1s that she had to make some nice saves on, and she came up big for them.
Let's take a look at the highlight that we have from the opening period tonight. And our highlight brought to you by American Family Insurance. Tyler Nagel, your agent in Grand Forks. And it's the lone scoring play, and it comes on the power play as a great pass here. This is Signal down to Bry. Bry took the shot, and Dusty Bollock cleans up a rebound right on top of the crease for the lone goal that we had in the opening period. 1-0 in favor of the Knightriders. And so our lone goal again coming from Dusty Bollock, and that brings us to our scoring summary that we have for you in the opening period. And our scoring summary is brought to you by Bergstrom Electric. Bergstrom Electric, where the lamp and the light shines brighter. And for our scoring summary, Dusty Bollock picks up her 5th goal this season and her 9th point. Chesney Sigdahl picked up an assist. That'll be her 8th and her 17th point of the season. And we also saw an assist on that play from Bry, I believe. Ella Bry picks up her 8th assist and her 11th point on the season. But Dusty Bollock with her 5th goal of the year to pick up the lone goal in the opening period. And that's Who Lit the Lamp. And Who Lit the Lamp is brought to you by Bergstrom Electric. They make the lamp and the light shine brighter. As we mentioned, shots on goal were 7-6 in favor of Fargo Davies. Davies probably feels like they could have had even a few more shots with the amount of time that they were up in the offensive zone. Grand Forks didn't have a lot of time inside Fargo Davies' blue line in that first period.
No, they really didn't, and you're probably right that Davies probably feels like they probably could have got a couple more chances. Grand Forks did a nice job when they were kind of stuck in their own zone of kind of keeping everything to the outside and not really giving them much. Obviously, Davies generated a few chances off that, but I would say Davies did more damage shot-wise and opportunity-wise off the transition game than they did generating. Even though they had a bunch of offensive zone time, I don't know that their chances were as good as the ones that they created in the transition game.
Sure, absolutely. That's a good way to break it down. We have a break that we'll take in our intermission report. When we come back, we'll spin you around what's going on in hockey tonight. We've got some scores, interesting games going on in East Region or Eastern Dakota Conference play on the boys' side of things tonight. So we'll get you an update there. We'll see if we can't find an update on East Grand Forks and Moorhead tonight also. They're playing down at the Moorhead Sports Center. After a period of play, the Knightriders lead the Eagles in girls hockey 1-0. Our intermission report continues next, and it's brought to you tonight by High Plains Water, your source for awesome water in Grand Forks, and by Grand Forks Welding and Machine, the men of steel. This is our coverage of high school hockey on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network and KNOX Live Sports. We're back with more next.
It takes attention to detail. With your local Bryant dealer, you're getting someone who pays attention to the little things that make a big difference. And to keep your family cool this summer, it takes Bryant.
Connect with Thermal Air today, your Bryant certified dealer.
In Grand Forks, it's about more than just where you live. It's about the people you trust when life happens. At Logan Karski State Farm, we're proud to protect what matters most. I'm Logan Karski with State Farm, and we'd be honored to be your good neighbor.
When the lights go out, count on the pros. Bergstrom Electric in Grand Forks, the area's largest full-service electrical contractor. From commercial builds to homes, they're trusted for quality, safety, and award-winning work. Call today, 701-775-8897.
When you need the right part for your pickup, head to Northwood or call Mike's Custom Truck. Amanda will drop ship any part you need. Turbos, upgraded fuel pumps, Edge products, and more. Mike's Custom Truck, 587-6335.
Nelson Auto in Grand Forks is proud to sponsor area athletics. We know the value of a good team, and we'd like to invite you in to meet our team. See how our team takes care of you and your family. Nelson Auto in Grand Forks, home to Ford, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram.
When you're in pain, you need more than just a doctor. You need a problem solver. Count on All True Orthopedics and Sports Medicine and get back to what moves you.
Hey, this is Pastor Paul. I'd like to welcome you to Hope Church, especially if you're a person that doesn't have a place where you hang out spiritually. We would love for you to come and experience hope and find God. Hope Church, 9, 10:30, and 6 p.m. on Sundays. For more information, you can check out gfhope.org.
Pick 6 for $19.99, a perfect meal for two.
That's gotta rhyme.
Well, how about munching on Pick 6, my mouth going yap, yap. People always staring at my wings, they go flap, flap. Dave is so surprised because he didn't know I'd rap. Pick 6 meal for two for $19.99.
H&S Electrical Services is proud to support local high school sports. From homes to industry, we deliver safe, reliable electrical solutions. Locally owned and operated, our skilled team ensures quality and service you can trust. H&S, trusted in your homes and businesses.
This is the KNOX Intermission Report, presented by Grand Forks Welding and Machine, the Men of Steel, and High Plains Water, your source for awesome water.
Welcome back to our coverage of high school hockey on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network. KNOX Live Sports, our intermission report tonight continues, and it's brought to you by High Plains Water, your source for awesome water in Grand Forks, and by Grand Forks Welding and Machine, the Men of Steel. We've got a lot of games. Let's go through our Ultra scoreboard that we have for you tonight. Lots of things happening out there when we come down to East Region matchups. First of all, we can tell you that the game between the Moorhead Spuds and the East Grand Forks Green Wave got started at 7:30 tonight. They've got that traditional late start, so we'll be getting some results in on that as things go forward, but they're going to be the late game that we have for you here this evening. Games in progress, let's go to those in the Eastern Dakota Conference tonight. Grand Forks Red River leads Fargo Davies 1-0. You know this is going to be a tough out for the Rough Riders. Fargo Davies has played the Grand Forks schools pretty well so far this year. Griffin Hoganson scores the lone goal of the game thus far, with helpers from Mason Breno and Stetson Brown. That came at 15:58 of the first period. Clean game so far, but here's the big statistic. Grand Forks outshot Fargo Davies 14-2 in the opening period of that game, but just didn't come away with any success. Things have started out in the second a bit more even, but a 14-2 shots on goal advantage for Grand Forks Red River in that matchup, and they grabbed one and lead by a score of 1-0 as they go into the second period. In progress tonight, the Knights at Fargo North this evening, and Central is all over the Spartans right now. 5-0 with 5 goals in the first period. They put 23 shots on goal in the first period tonight. 5 different men score in that matchup for Central. Nolan Mardo gets the scoring going tonight. Cooper DeZiel, Che Kwame, Jacob Spicer, and Trey Clausen all end up scoring goals. It looks like it's multi-point nights so far for Kwame, a goal and an assist, a goal and an apple for DeZiel, and his goal was shorthanded tonight. So you've got that going for you. But man, Danny, you look at the balance that's out there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different men make the scoreboard tonight for Grand Forks Central in the first period against a Fargo North team that's a gamer type of team. That's a big first period tonight for the Knights.
Yeah, Central came out flying, apparently.
I mean, they scored a shorthanded goal and everything tonight, so that was interesting to see. Some other games that are in progress. Fargo Shanley leading Grafton Park River right now. No, that game is now tied. 1-1 your score between Fargo Shanley and Grafton Park River in that matchup. Shanley scored first. Noah Oxendahl getting a goal shorthanded, but then Noah Troffgruben for Grafton Park River comes back on the power play. Shanley outshot Grafton Park River 11-6 in that first period tonight. Devils Lake and West Fargo tied at 1. And, of course, the Firebirds dealing with some lineup issues. They had a number of players that are not with the team right now. We'll leave it at that. The Packers outshoot the Firebirds 13-12 in the first period. Things started hot for Devils Lake, scored at 19 seconds. Weston Stromey, who continues to have a great season, scores, but Ian Scarry comes back with a goal for West Fargo in that first period of play. Now, coming into tonight, just take a look at the standings going into tonight's matchups. I believe we saw that Grand Forks Central had taken over first place in the East region at this point. We'll see if we can't get a look at those numbers here coming into tonight. Looks like let's see, standings right there. There we go. Should be able to pull them up. Actually, Red River has the lead by a point over Central coming into tonight. Central, of course, has 2 games in hand against Red River. Central's played 9. Red River's played 11 so far this season, but Red River 27 points, Central 26, West Fargo Cheyenne with 21, Davies and North 18 and 16 respectively. So Red River's up against a top 4 team in the league tonight. That's a respectable opponent that they have this evening, but Central off to a big start tonight, and that was kind of fun to see that go on the scoreboard tonight.
Yeah, Davies is a solid hockey team. They played Central tough twice, and they're playing Red River tough right now. I mean, obviously the shots were a little lopsided, but you'd like to think that they'll figure that out. They're a well-coached team down in Fargo. So
absolutely. Well, we'll see how that one continues. We'll keep you up to date with the scoreboard throughout the course of the night tonight, so do stay with us. We're going to take one final break on our intermission report, brought to you tonight by Grand Forks Welding and Machine and High Plains Water. And coming up next, we'll have second period action of our girls matchup. The Knightriders lead the Davies Eagles by a score of 1-0. This is our coverage of high school hockey on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network and KNOX Live Sports.
It's game day, and whether you're feeding the family or the entire team, Hugo's is the place to go. Score big with favorites from the meat department, delicious fresh veggies, and don't forget about the bakery to celebrate the big win. Hugo's Family Marketplace, your game day headquarters.
Thief River Glass handles it all. Aluminum storefronts, auto glass, windows, shower enclosures, and more. Just like our athletes, we're built for every season. No job is too big or too small. Call 218-681-1333 for year-round dependable service.
When you're looking for a change of pace, a change of routine, or a change of scenery, we'll help you find what's next. Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. For you, for life.
We get ready for second period action tonight. The Knightriders leading 1-0 over the Fargo Davies Eagles. Ryan Cunningham, Danny Mardo, and Joey Springer with our videography work here tonight. Fargo Davies turned away after a pretty good offensive period. And the Knightriders scoring a power play goal to get things moving into period number 2 here tonight. And now we'll see what happens in the second. Pivotal matchup tonight in the statewide standings. Again, for those of you that didn't see it earlier in our drive for the title, you can see Fargo Davies 25 points. Grand Forks has an 8-point lead on Davies, but if you want to stay in contention with Legacy Bismarck coming in this weekend, then this is one that you want to have. You get the 36 points and play Legacy Bismarck. If you can get this win, you play Legacy Bismarck for outright control of the number 2 seed coming up this weekend.
Yep, got to take care of business here, and I think if you're the Knightriders, you build off of a little bit of a momentum off that power play goal at the end of that period and go to work in the offensive zone here and get on that forecheck.
We'll see what happens as we get ready for the second. Knightriders will now move from our left to right as we take a look at it. Right to left for Fargo Davies. Not a huge crowd tonight, but a pretty decent crowd tonight for a Tuesday night. We draw at center ice, and the puck bangs around off the line. And the Knightriders will take control of it in their own end. It's Kira Botnan who has it poke check free by Elise Knapp of Fargo Davies. Bottman chips it high off the glass, and this will flow back out into the neutral zone. And a long race to get up the ice. Mardo trying to catch it. Puck is kept up in the offensive end. Good trail by Ella Yana to get after that. And we might start to be seeing some of the first changes. Perhaps Mardo looks to be skating on this line now with Yana. And also perhaps Chesney Sigdahl supposed to be on this line also. Well, I don't think so, though. It looks like Chloe Groven's jumped up there.
Yeah, I was going to say, Coach Kilgore did not lie to you when he said it might be a mismatch. 'Cause
we had a handful of changes on this. I couldn't tell you if it's the second line or the third line or the first line that's changed up tonight, because one of each is on this grouping right now for the Knightriders. Fargo Davies clears a puck back out to the neutral zone. Kuznia got back to get to it right along the half line. Mardo fights for a loose puck, sends it back to Signal, who will step up into the offensive end, and a wrister from her is punched up into the webbing, and we'll see a draw coming up in the Knightriders zone. Yeah, you're absolutely not kidding. So Mardo out there on the first line, Yana out there on the second line, and Groven. That was 3 centers that he threw together on one line. What's he making this stuff up as he goes along down there, Dave?
I think so. I think he's just going by what he feels.
You don't typically see a coach do that. Take your centers and throw them. Yana will turn it back to the point off the draw for the Knightriders. She puts it back behind the net. Nora Hales back to get to it. And Ella Bry tries to turn it back towards the corner. This will float up in the air. Sheely had a pretty good defensive period for Fargo Davies in that opening frame. And Sheely turns it back towards the far corner. Frosley over to pick it up for Fargo Davies. This floats back into the neutral zone. Picked up there by Hudson Hofer. Dangerous skater coming up the ice. Hofer forced into the far corner, though. A pretty good defensive stand that time by Elizabeth Kilgore for Grand Forks and the Knightriders. Puck will end up back behind the Knightriders net. Played back towards the point. It's won there by Botman. Then back out into the neutral zone, and the Knightriders come away with it 2-on-2. A little pass back to Sigdahl on the left, trying to outrun a post to the far side for Hudson Hofer, but Hofer was able to catch up to her. Fargo Davies will rotate it back towards the near end. Knightriders keep it in. Bry sent it wide to the net. Played back off to the far point. This will hop off the wall and go wide to the net for icing. And we'll head back into the Fargo Davies zone for a draw. Coverage tonight brought to you by PS Garage Doors, where the PS stands for Peaceful Season. They hope you've had a peaceful season during the recently completed holiday season and now through the month of January. Certainly been cold. I don't know about peaceful. PS Garage Doors. Call 772-DOOR. That's 772-DOOR for PS Garage Doors in Devils Lake and Grand Forks. O'Connell with the puck for Fargo, actually for Grand Forks. Sends it in. Botnan over trying to hold it on the right point. Battle for control there. That'll be sent back into the corner. Long rush to get back to it. Ava Walsh trying for it. Put it back out in front of the net. Scramble on towards the far wall. And the Eagles will come away with Jaden Melendez that will come up the ice with control of the puck. Knightriders back to it defensively. Nora Lord trying to turn it up the wall. Back to the point. This actually hit one of the Eagles' sticks on the bench as it was coming up the wall. We're going to draw either on the line or up in the Knightriders zone.
I think this one's coming back inside.
Yeah, it looks like it will. Knights will change up. Let's see what we've got on this group. Chloe Erickson's out there. That's a first liner. Ella Bry is a third liner. Puck goes wide of the net. And Jocelyn Cool's a fourth liner. Okay. We're mixing and matching. That's what we're going to do tonight. Yes. Until we find the combination, right? That's what it is. Kendall Sheely back for Fargo Davies to pick up a puck. She'll play it off the near side wall. Again, the Knightriders dealing with some injury problems right now, so they're having to make some adjustments. See a whistle and a draw that's going to bring us back into the Knightriders zone, it would appear. I'm not sure if that was an icing call. Got through everybody?
Must have been icing.
Okay. For those of you that are viewing tonight, breaking in some new equipment so you can tell it kind of goes uphill when you get into the ends, and didn't have a lot of opportunity to test that out. That will certainly get better as we go along, but the advantage of what we have tonight is that throughout the last couple of seasons, we have not been able to show you any of the action that happens in front of the press box, and we finally have the ability to get up and over a ledge up here, but it's going to take some fine-tuning to get it just right. We have a chance to start that tonight, but hopefully you'll bear with us on the little uphill slope that you see on your screen as Puck goes into each offensive zone tonight. Davies trying to play one out. Got this one through the neutral zone rather cleanly. And icing coming up against the Eagles. That'll bring us back into the Eagle zone for another draw. 13-19 to play in the opening period.
It's kind of similar start to the second period as it was the first, just opposite teams. Grand Forks kind of had a little bit more pressure, but hasn't really generated anything, so we'll see how this transpires as the period goes on.
It does seem like, though, they've had a little bit more confidence offensively, doesn't it? Grand Forks Red River has scored again at Fargo Davies tonight. More on that in a second. Puck bobbled as it came into the crease, and Megan Supas will glove it up for Fargo Davies. Mason Breno comes up with a goal from Griffin Hoganson and Brody Lucier. That came in the second period at 9:13 of the second period, and so the Rough Riders stretching out their lead to 2-0 over Fargo Davies after a first period where they outshot the Eagles 14-2. Here's a chance off the draw. That's deflected on the way through. Loose puck. Yana reaching back for it. And this is sent back into the neutral zone. Knightriders back on their own line to pick it up with Kuznia. Spun off the far boards. Mardo trying to chase it down against Elliott for Fargo Davies. And the puck goes back behind Elliott. Jasmine Dybert steps up into the offensive end. Dybert, a backhander out in front of the net, nearly turned over, and Elise Knapp was right there, but Knapp couldn't quite come up with control of the puck, or she'd have had a point-blank opportunity. Bakken up along the near side wall. This will be turned back, played back up the ice. Yana trying to widen out towards the circle. Instead comes back to the point. High slot now, drops one off for Kilgore, and the Knightriders get into their cycle. Long-range chance goes wide of the net that time. Came from the left point from Dusty Bollock, who's got the lone goal so far tonight. Puck back near side, floating through everybody, and we'll see icing. And we'll come back into the Davies end. So a pretty good turnaround, though, in this second period so far for the Knightriders. They've been pretty aggressive and more of a master of the offensive zone so far.
Yeah, whatever Coach Kilgore thought with his lines has kind of been working, so.
We'll draw out of the left circle of the Fargo Davies zone. Sigdahl trying to win the draw for the Knightriders and was able to get a piece of it, kind of floats it back down the slot. Loose puck to Annika Astrup for Fargo Davies. Got it out in the neutral zone. Kilgore will play it back down. Picked up on the right side. Frosley for the Eagles. Up into the neutral ice for Annika Astrup. Astrup will send it down the wall. Rush coming in from Hudson Hofer, but Hofer screened off the puck by Kira Botten and did a nice job of using the body there, turned to shoulder, and kept Hofer from being able to attack that. Botten in again, having to fend off Annika Astrup. Puck loose to center ice. Sigdahl steps up for the Knightriders. Sigdahl playing towards the left circle, drives one in up the end wall, picked up her own rebound and had a chance with a wide open number 5, Nora Hale, waiting on the right side, and now we're going to see a penalty coming up. I wonder if the Knightriders got caught along the wall with some contact. It's going to bring us to a media stoppage as well. We're waiting to see where the penalty is going to go. The time of the penalty is going to be at 5:34, but I believe they're going to make this a media timeout. So we'll have a media stoppage. We'll come back with more and tell you about the penalty when we continue. With 11:26 to play, second period, it's 1-0 Knightriders. This is our coverage of high school hockey on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network.
Open all year round to the public, Eagles Crest offers space for holiday parties and family get-togethers. And of course, daily specials, appetizers, and all your favorites, including Sunday brunch buffets. Come in for the view and delicious meals at Eagles Crest Grill.
Grand Trailer Sales in East Grand Forks is your go-to spot for enclosed utility, flatbed, and dump trailers in the Red River Valley. They have the biggest selection on hand of trailers with great pricing. If you're looking for parts, service, or simply to buy, GrandTrailersSales.com.
Rivals on the ice, united in the stands, and everyone's geared up from Jarrell Sports Center and Hockey World. Hockey gear, fan apparel, Nodak Pride, we've got it all and more. Locally owned, 1004 South Washington Street. Shop local, shop Jarrell's.
Welcome back to our coverage of high school hockey on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, KNOX Live Sports.
Yeah, they changed it now.
They put a penalty up now on Fargo Davies. They had put a penalty up on the Knightriders, but this penalty is going to go against Fargo Davies. It'll be Annika Astrup that takes the call. I think they called her for high sticking, if I heard that correctly.
Nope, I think it was body checking.
Was it body checking?
I thought that's what they said.
It's hard to hear the sound system here at Blue Line Iceplex. Could still use a little tweaking. But nonetheless, we'll see another power play coming up now for the Knightriders. Our power play brought to you by RBB Electric. On call, on time, and online. RBBelectric.com. So we'll see a power play coming up here for the Knightriders. And the penalty still being explained to the Fargo Davies coaching staff. The lone goal for the Knightriders has been on the power play so far tonight. That was a goal by Dusty Ballack back in the first period. And the Knightriders will have another chance to skate with a one-player advantage, at least for now. Explanation, satisfactory. And the Knightriders go on the power play. And a shot right away coming in from Kilgore. Rebounded puck that's sent wide to the net. This will end up back behind the Fargo Davies net. They tried to play it out. Jasmine Dybert got to it. Knightriders pick it right back up. They'll bring it back towards the near corner. And a turn out of the corner by Kira Botnin. Botnin turns it back into the corner. Play back to Kilgore in the right circle. Kilgore out high. Mardo's going to take it on the left point. Mardo a look. Back out high. Drive into traffic. It's snared by Supas, who comes out with a glove save. Nice save that time by Supas.
That's a good save.
Good setup, though, by the Knightriders. They moved the puck all the way around the ice.
Yeah, and Bailick had another chance in front of the net there off the initial shot off that faceoff, too. So
Eliana will take the draw for the Knightriders. And a puck poked into the corner. O'Connell's there to wrestle it free for the Knightriders. And the puck comes back to her, back behind the net. She'll play it off towards the right. A look there by Mahar. They set up Mardo from the high slot. Loose puck picked up and driven back towards the net. Steep angle on the left and deflected up and out of the crowd.
I think that one was right off her dome.
Was that right off the helmet?
I think so.
So a save by Supas off the forehead. The Fargo Davies bench gave her a nice little round of applause for making that stop. And we'll draw to the right now of the Fargo Davies goaltender, Supas. Puck taken up by Mardo on the right point. A look, comes back to Mardo, high slot, taking it back from Reese Mahar. Mardo will turn it down the wall. Back behind the net, O'Connell with a touch. Correction, not O'Connell, but rather Dusty Ballack. At a steep angle, puck goes right through the crease. Taken out of the corner for the Knightriders by Yana. And Mardo fumbles on the puck. She was pressured, and Olivia Simic comes back after her. Mardo got back to her own line to pick it up. 35 seconds left of the power play, brought to you by RBB Electric for the Knightriders. Knightriders leading 1-0. Kilgore plays it back to Mardo on the left point. Mardo back in towards the circle for Kilgore. Now they'll change places on the half wall. Mardo tries to drive it into the corner. 20 seconds left. Loose puck picked up there. A turn behind the net by Ballack. They put it back into the slot. No one home, and the puck can't be kept in. It gets past Kilgore. A step out by Fiala in the circle, and Fiala's going to let this go as Davies will bring a couple of their players to the bench, and that looks to run out the power play time for the Knightriders. And now the Knightriders in some trouble as Hudson Hofer picks up a puck. The Eagles go right to work on the offense, and a save by Fiala on a drive right through the heart of the slot by Hallie Bakken. Fiala makes the stop, and will draw coming up in the Grand Forks Knightriders zone.
Yeah, tired bodies for the Knightriders there. That whole power play was played by the same unit, so.
And it was a pretty active power play.
It was a pretty active power play, but then you got a little tired and maybe not a great decision made sometimes, and goalie made a nice save.
Off the draw, a crash towards the net by Annika Astrup, who just got out of the penalty box for Fargo Davies. 1-0 in favor of the Knightriders. We're down to 9:05 to play in the second period of hockey. Puck picked up in neutral ice by Hudson Hofer, and a drive weakly towards the net by Bry as she was falling down. That'll be covered up by Megan Supas. Yeah, we're going to draw coming up in the Fargo Davies zone. The Eagles don't have a shot through 8 minutes of play. Part of that is the power play, but that wasn't the whole thing. The Knightriders have just been better offensively. You mentioned that forecheck, Danny, and they've been after it here in this second period.
Yeah, they have. They've done a better job, and Davies is now working on their transition game again.
Hofer comes back up the ice, drives in, going to get around the net. wanted to attack, didn't quite have the angle, steps out high, looks back towards the right side, found Dybert and a drive in. That'll be turned away by Fiala. Here's another chance in on Fiala that she kicks away, and Kendra Kuznia will clean it up and send it out to neutral ice, where Chesney Sigdahl steps in and takes control for the Knightriders. Ended up losing the puck into the corner, and Dybert will turn it back off towards the near wall for Bakken and Fargo Davies. Halfway through this second period, puck into the neutral zone. Picked up there by Sophia Rarick for the Eagles. Dumped back into the Eagles zone. Dybert looking to stretch a play out. They'll wave off icing here, and Annika Astrup trying to get to it. She got bodied up against the wall. Puck comes back to the high slot. An attempt by Kendall Sheely that ends up being deflected into the air. Astrup will step back to it. It's turned back to neutral ice. Sigdahl comes away. She's got Ava Walsh with her. Signal tried to get a shot away, and Frosley blocked it. Puck will come back to Sigdahl in the corner. Now a step in for Nora Lord, and as it's turned out, we have another penalty coming up for cross-checking, and I'm going to guess this one is going against the Knightriders.
I believe you are correct.
Cross-checking call coming up here, and it looks like Chesney Sigdahl is coming to the box for cross-checking. Time of the penalty will be at 9:16, and so now it'll be a power play opportunity for Fargo Davies, brought to you by RBB Electric. On call, on time, and online. RBBelectric.com. Sigdahl goes in for cross-checking. Knightriders shorthanded. Mardo trying to come into the neutral zone with a loose puck. It was knocked back down by Frosley. Davies unable to take control, and actually the Knightriders will clear. And way out of the crease is Supas here trying to start a transition play. Frosley coming back towards the near side. Puck will float free to the wall. And a step back into the neutral zone that time. Nice play for Eliana, who just turns and clears it right back up on Davies' side. Mardo stepping in. Comes away with a takeaway. And will turn this back to Dusty Bollock, who's waiting back on the Knightriders line. Botman on the right. Turns one down the wall. Off the end wall, Supas will pick it up. 40 seconds into the power play. Turned by Frosley towards the far boards. Mardo comes away with a takeaway. She's got a chance, fires, and it's punched wide. Megan Supas punching that away with a stick hand. Good shorthanded opportunity by Mardo, but big play by Supas to keep it out. And now here comes the power play rush for Fargo Davies. Gravelin driving into the corner for the Eagles. Gravelin gets fronted. Ends up losing the puck in front of her. Sydney Elliott will pick it up out of the right corner. Elliott trying to come across the ice. Ends up in the high slot for Frosley. She'll dump down towards the left. And it'll be a pushing and shoving match against the wall for control there. Astrup trying to step in, and we see a player actually dragged down. I think they're going to call a holding penalty, but I'm not sure who it's going to go against. It would appear it's going against the Eagles, but I'm not 100% sure.
I think you're right, but I think you could have called that on either of them.
Probably could have called it on both of them.
That's what I mean. I think you could have.
They're going to get one of the Eagles, though, for holding. And I believe the guilty party here for Fargo Davies is going to be Frosley. Well, no, it's not. Penalty's going up against Astrup unless they just didn't clear it. It's a holding call. The time of the penalty's at 10:40 of the second period. So we're back to 4-on-4 skating. And special teams come into play once again here. We had some 4-on-4 back in the opening period that turned into a Davies power play. This one would turn into a Knightriders power play. Loose puck taken away by Hudson Hofer for Fargo Davies. Hofer coming up the ice. High slot, drifting to the right circle. Plays it back into the corner. Puck goes loose in the corner for Sophia Rarick. Rarick ends up losing her footing. Now the Knightriders can't clear. This is even strength, so they'll call icing here. And we'll come back for an offensive zone draw for the Knightriders with 5:51 to play in the second period. Well, these are nervous moments when you're playing 4-on-4, right?
Yeah. They're nervous moments for sure, especially when it starts in the offensive zone and now it's back into your end. So
4-on-4 draw in the Knightriders zone. Knightriders win it. Hazel O'Connell, 8th grade defensive player, stepping in. O'Connell ends up losing the puck behind her, taken away by Olivia Simic for Fargo Davies. Simic trying to wrestle it down back behind the net. Hung up as Kilgore got into her pretty well, and the puck will be picked free by Eliana. And Grand Forks comes away with control, and now they're on the power play. So Eliana starts a power play rush for the Knightriders as they go on the power play for a little better than a minute out of the 4-on-4 play. Knightriders with control. They play it back to the high slot. They were looking for Kilgore. Puck knocked free. It came from Reese Mahar, and this will be sent back through the Knightriders zone. Mardo back to pick it up for Grand Forks. Takes a step towards the wall. Good pull back to her backhand side. And now Mardo has a 3-on-2 odd player as she drives up into the right corner. Surveys everything, taking a look, comes back towards the right. Mahar goes right back to Mardo. Mardo stepping right circle, looking, firing, short-sided, ends up being knocked away as Supis was equal to the task. This one played back towards the high slot and will end up back in the neutral zone. And now we're going to see a whistle and I think a holding penalty coming up against the Knightriders.
Hook, hold, yeah.
Something. 12:22 of the period. There's been a lot of holding that's been allowed here tonight. This is going to be a hooking call, though. You're right about it. Hooking call coming up against Grand Forks is Elizabeth Kilgore.
You know, I think this is the most penalties I've seen in a girls' game in a long time.
We've had 4 in the period, 2 on each team. So 19 seconds of 4-on-4. Rush, or actually draw in the Knightriders' end. And then a lengthy power play coming up for Fargo Davies. So the Knightriders trying to take advantage of the 4-on-4 time. Puck loose to the wall. And it comes back to the half line here where it's won by Grand Forks' Kira Botnan. She puts a weak shot on. Supis will turn it away. Supis tried to play that back in. It actually hit Supis in the back. And then an official lost sight of the puck and blew the whistle. And the puck will stand on top of the crease. And we'll get ready for another power play brought to you by RBB Electric. On call, on time, and online. RBBelectric.com.
There's been some funny plays off the end wall here tonight.
Yep. That one hit Supis in the back, and she somehow was able to find it and keep it out of the net. Bakken for Fargo Davies turns it back to Dybert behind the net. Dybert back off towards the right. Able to find control from Sophie Rarick. Into the neutral zone, A-strip coming back towards the right. Rarick taking a look, stop and go shot, goes wide to the net that time as Claire Fiala turned and watched it go by. Puck back towards the point, Hudson Hofer. Leading scorer for Davies, puts a shot in play up and over the bar, looking for the carom off the wall. It got stuck on the back of the net. Play gets tied up back behind the net, and a flail by Botnan that turns the puck back to the wall. It's picked up there by Dybert for the Eagles, and her pass back to Hofer is offline. Let's go back into the neutral zone. 50 seconds to play on the power play clock for Fargo Davies. Hofer driving one into the corner, will step off on the end of her shift. This will go back behind the net, and a turn there behind the net for the Eagles. That puck is mishandled by Hallie Bakken and driven back up the ice by the Knightriders into the Fargo Davies zone for a clear. 30 seconds left. Elliott's back for Fargo Davies. Near side, able to find Frosley, who steps up into the neutral zone. Frosley turned around a little bit, got it back into the Knightriders' end, but it's picked off by Dusty Bollock, who's been pretty steady tonight for the Knightriders. And now a rush from Chesney Sigdahl coming in, trying to pressure a puck shorthanded. With the power play clock down to 10 seconds, this goes loose. O'Connell trying to get a shot free from the high slot. Loose off to the right. Elliott picks it up for Fargo Davies. And the power play comes to an end. Davies back up the ice with it. A turn back towards the right point. Shot goes wide of the net from the point from Kendall Sheely. And we're back to 5-on-5 skating with 2:20 to play in this second period. The Knightriders leading 1-0 on the all-true scoreboard. Sigdahl reaching for a puck. And I'll tell you what, when it comes down to a holding call, we could have seen one right there. Puck comes back towards the point for Sheely for Fargo Davies. Sheely ends up losing an edge. Puck goes to Sigdahl for the Knightriders. Sigdahl stepping up into the neutral zone. Pass towards Mardo. She picks it up into a 2-on-1. Fires in on Supis, and Supis will make the stop. And that's going to bring us to a media stoppage with 1:59 to play in the second period. 1-0 Knightriders on the all-true scoreboard. And our intermission coming up in a moment, but time for a media timeout. Brought to you by Apex Apparel and Big Jim's Tire. On the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network.
Open all year round to the public, Eagles Crest offers space for holiday parties and family get-togethers. And of course, daily specials, appetizers, and all your favorites, including Sunday brunch buffets. Come in for the view and delicious meals at Eagles Crest Grill.
If you've got an electrical emergency, call RBB Electric. We are your 24/7 electrician. Your call will always be answered by an RBB employee ready to help 24/7. RBB Electric is on time every time. Your time is valuable, and we don't waste it. RBB Electric always calls ahead to schedule service. We are online always. If you suffer from slow download speeds, call our certified network designers and installers. On call, on time, and online. RBB Electric won't leave you in the dark. RBB Electric, your 24/7 electricians.
1-0 in favor of the Knightriders on the All True scoreboard. Our scoreboard updates are brought to you by All True. Regular screenings with All True's care team can detect illness before symptoms begin. Stay in the game of wellness. Schedule an appointment. Visit alltrue.org or call 780-5000. Ryan Cunningham, Danny Mardo with you tonight from Blue Line Iceplex, Eagles Arena, Midtown Grand Forks. Pivotal matchup in the statewide standings. The Knightriders leading 1-0 over Fargo Davies. And we'll see a draw to the right of the Fargo Davies goalkeeper, Megan Supas, who's had her work cut out for it as of late. She makes another stop right off the draw. And another draw coming up with 1:54 left to play in the second period. Been an interesting matchup tonight. Lots of defense.
Lots of penalties.
Yeah, lots of penalties. The second period's been penalty-ridden. 14-10 shots on goal, and now we're going to see, it looks like Chloe Groven thrown out of the face-off circle for the Knightriders. And Groven just points at Ava Walsh and says, "You take it." And Walsh wins the draw. Puck comes back towards the point. Bollock with it, sprays one wide of the net. Step in by Hudson Hofer for Fargo Davies. She tries to bring it out across her slot. Dangerous pass, she got away with it. Off the left side, Sophie Rarick trying to turn up the ice, and Rarick's got an opportunity to step up. Now 3-on-2, odd player. Rarick dangles around, fires it, goes just wide of the net. She put it back out in front. It's loose there, and a drive wide of the net that time from Frosley. Big opportunities for Fargo Davies just offline. Another puck picked up, and this one comes back off towards the right point. Frosley again into traffic, knocked down in front. There's a battle on for control of the loose puck. Scrum with 8 players there. Back to Frosley, dumped in again. The Knightriders desperate for a clear, and this will be thrown off the glass by Bollock and sent back into the Fargo Davies zone. Whoo, boy.
Ooh, yeah, really good opportunities there from Davies, and Claire Fiala came up with a couple of big saves there.
And then had to hang on while her defensive mates sort of rushed to the top of the crease to try to find the loose puck. And those are scrums that make or break games in that situation.
Absolutely, they do.
We'll draw to the left of Fiala in the Knightriders zone. Knightriders come up with control of the puck. It'll be Kendra Kuznia that plays it back towards the near side. Touch up the wall, deflected. Loose puck stays down. Bakken charging out in front. Another puck out in front. And again, Fiala reaches down to make a stop. And now we had a stick come in late. Thrown in there by one of the Eagles to try to dig the puck up. I think it was thrown in by Jaden Melendez. No. We have a number. There it is. Olivia Simic was the player that put the stick in there. And I think the Knightriders took some exception to that. Puck picked up. Kendra Kuznia stepping back towards the near side. A look up ice by Bry for the Knightriders, and a shot from the right point and a score for Fargo Davies to tie the game. Boy, they were all around it for a long time, and this time a long-range shot from Jasmine Dybert will score at 16-19 of the period. Let's take a look at it again. The American Family Insurance Tyler Nagel Agency replay, and you can just see it coming for a while for Fargo Davies. This time Dybert all the way out on the point. That one just got through. May have been touched on the way through as well. It looked like the reaction from Fiala was a little bit late, Danny, and the score for Dybert ties the game.
Yeah, I don't know if that got tipped or deflected on the way in. It almost looked like it kind of dove on Fiala there, but yeah, you can kind of feel that after Davies has put about 5 shots in the last 30 seconds. So.
Yep, they had big scrum in front of the crease on 2 occasions there, and now the Eagles seem rather fired up as they've tied the game with 20 seconds to go. So 2 very similar periods. The Knightriders in the Eagles' end the entire second, and the Eagles have scored after the first period where the Eagles were in the Knightriders' end for most of the first, and the Knightriders scored. And we're tied at 1 as we go into the final 10 seconds of this second period of play, and this is going to be anybody's hockey game going into the third, tied at 1 apiece. A goal for Jasmine Dybert from the right point is the equalizer here in the second. And after 2 periods of play on the All-True scoreboard, your score will be the Eagles 1 and the Knightriders 1. We're going to come back with our look at our second period highlight action and a look at our scoreboard update as well, along with the scoring from that second period of play. Intermission report brought to you again tonight by our friends at High Plains Water, your source for awesome water in Grand Forks, and by Grand Forks Welding and Machine, the Men of Steel. This is our coverage of high school hockey on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network and KNOX Live Sports. We're back with more next.
It takes attention to detail. With your local Bryant dealer, you're getting someone who pays attention to the little things that make a big difference. And to keep your family cool this summer, it takes Bryant.
Connect with Thermal Air today, your Bryant certified dealer.
In Grand Forks, it's about more than just where you live. It's about the people you trust when life happens. At Logan Karski State Farm, we're proud to protect what matters most. I'm Logan Karski with State Farm, and we'd be honored to be your good neighbor.
When the lights go out, count on the pros. Bergstrom Electric in Grand Forks, the area's largest full-service electrical contractor. From commercial builds to homes, they're trusted for quality, safety, and award-winning work. Call today, 701-775-8897.
When you need the right part for your pickup, head to Northwood or call Mike's Custom Truck. Amanda will drop ship any part you need. Turbos, upgraded fuel pumps, Edge products, and more. Mike's Custom Truck, 587-6335.
Nelson Auto in Grand Forks is proud to sponsor area athletics. We know the value of a good team, and we'd like to invite you in to meet our team. See how our team takes care of you and your family. Nelson Auto in Grand Forks, home to Ford, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram.
When you're in pain, you need more than just a doctor. You need a problem solver. Count on All True Orthopedics and Sports Medicine and get back to what moves you.
Hey, this is Pastor Paul. I'd like to welcome you to Hope Church, especially if you're a person that doesn't have a place where you hang out spiritually. We would love for you to come and experience, hope, and find God. Hope Church, 9, 10:30, and 6 p.m. on Sundays. For more information, you can check out gfhope.org.
Pick 6 for $19.99, a perfect meal for two.
That's gotta rhyme.
Well, how about munching on Pick 6, my mouth going yap, yap. People always staring at my wings, they go flap, flap. Davis so surprised because he didn't know I'd rap, rap. Pick 6 meal for two for $19.99.
H&S Electrical Services is proud to support local high school sports. From homes to industry, we deliver safe, reliable electrical solutions. Locally owned and operated, our skilled team ensures quality and service you can trust. H&S, trusted in your homes and businesses.
This is the KNOX Intermission Report, presented by Grand Forks Welding and Machine, the Men of Steel, and High Plains Water, your source for awesome water.
Welcome back to our coverage of high school hockey on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network, KNOX Live Sports. We'll go to the third. We expected this one to be a pretty good hockey game tonight between number 3 and number 5 in North Dakota. And it's turned into that. Shots even at 15 apiece, score even at 1 apiece after 2 periods of play here tonight from Blue Line Iceplex, Eagles Arena here in Midtown Grand Forks. Our intermission report brought to you by High Plains Water, your source for awesome water. With a system from High Plains Water, you don't have to worry about what you put in your body. No more of that scaly buildup around your fixtures in your home. And with appliances lasting longer, all of that is going to save you money. High Plains Water, they're your source for awesome water in Grand Forks. And our coverage and our intermission report brought to you by Grand Forks Welding and Machine. The Men of Steel at Grand Forks Welding and Machine are ready to go to work for you, so you can get ready to go with your next season in 2026. If you put implements away with some scrapes or some dings, it's time to get those fixed up. Whether you need holes tightened or you have some broken or twisted shafts, they can get those repair work items done for you so that you can hit the ground running when it's time to hit another season. Grand Forks Welding and Machine, the Men of Steel. Well, Danny, period number 1 saw the Eagles up in the offensive zone inside Grand Forks' zone for most of it, and Grand Forks scores their goal and leads 1-0. Period number 2, almost the exact opposite. The Knightriders, lots of opportunities, couple of power plays that were just about there. Ton of time inside Fargo Davies blue line. Davies gets the lone goal of the period. So we're 1-1 going to the third, but a couple of periods that look a lot like each other, just with different outcomes for different teams.
Yeah, and really it was, Grand Forks kind of, I don't want to say they lost momentum when they got their power plays, but it was almost felt like they were rolling. All the girls were getting touches and on the ice, and then the power plays happen and the penalty kills happen, and then some girls sit a little bit cold and you get out of the flow of it. And when they were rolling their lines to start that period, they were really having success forechecking and putting the pressure on. And then Davies kind of weathered the storm, got a couple power plays of their own, and then came out on fire for the last 2 minutes. I think they ended up with 8 or 9 shots that period, and 5 of them had to have been in the last 2 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was 12-7 shots on goal at one point in that second period in favor of the Knightriders, and so ends up being 15-15, so they finished with an 8-3 advantage at the end of that frame and a couple of scrums in front of the net, but the lone goal actually comes from the point as we take a look at our highlight that we had in that period. And our highlights brought to you by American Family Insurance, Tyler Nagel, your agent, and the lone goal comes out to the right point for Jasmine Dybert, picks up a puck, drives one through some traffic, and it was right where it needed to be. Gets past Claire Fiala, who's played a really, really solid game tonight, but shot from the right point, again, just got through some traffic at that point. And Danny, those long-range shots, when there's players in front of you and you can't see where it's coming from, that's why those shots from the point from the blue line can be so important and so difficult to match up with.
Yeah, absolutely. It makes it hard on the goalie, and if you can get them through and get them on net, even if they don't go in, then you give yourself a chance for rebounds. So, it's a great play, and I think most teams try to do it. It's just sometimes they don't make it all the way to the net.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sometimes the glass is very prevalent.
Yeah, you're trying to block, or a player trying to block it too, that kind of thing. I mean, it takes a lot of things to make that work, but that time she got one through, and that brings us to our scoring summary with Who Lit the Lamp, brought to you by Bergstrom Electric. They make the lamp and the light shine brighter, and our lone goal in the period goes to Jasmine Dybert. It's an even strength goal, and she gets an assist from Evelyn Amundsen on the play. But Jasmine Dybert with the lone goal, she ends up lighting the lamp. The goal came at 16:20 of the second period. And that's the lone goal that we had in the period. And that's our scoring summary with Who Lit the Lamp, brought to you by Bergstrom Electric. They make the lamp and the light shine brighter. So it's 1-1 here. We'll have an exciting third period coming up. We're going to take a break on our intermission report, brought to you by High Plains Water and also by Grand Forks Welding and Machine. And when we come back, a full look at our scoreboard from high school hockey down in Fargo tonight. Lots of action. Fargo Moorhead. We've got an early score coming in now for East Grand Forks and Moorhead in their matchup tonight at the Moorhead Sports Center. And on top of that, well, big nights tonight, it looks like, for Central and Red River on the road. So we'll talk about that when we continue. At half, or I should say rather at the end of 2 periods of play, your score on the All True scoreboard: the Knightriders won and the Eagles won in girls hockey tonight on the Rivards Turf and 4-inch Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network and KNOX Live Sports.
Spray Advantage of Grand Forks carries everything you need for the chemical and fertilizer application on your farm. Pumps, tips, and tanks from 3 gallons all the way up to 10,000 gallons on hand. They can help with parts and accessories for the fertilizer and tillage equipment on your farm too. SprayAdvantage.com.
Apex Apparel is your quick turnaround apparel and promotional item shop in Grand Forks. If you're looking for direct-to-garment printing, embroidery work, or a huge selection of promotional items, come to Apex Apparel, your locally owned, family-run, quick turnaround apparel shop in Grand Forks.
The Ski and Bike Shop in Grand Forks. Gear up for ski season or hit the trails on a fat tire bike. At the Ski and Bike Shop, we offer top brands, ski and snowboard service, and everything you need for cold weather fun. The Ski and Bike Shop in Grand Forks, where your next adventure begins.
Signature Graphics in East Grand Forks is your one-stop shop for all your branding and design needs. From embroidery, vinyl wrapping, laser print, and more, fully customized from start to finish, all in-house. Signature Graphics. We craft your vision. You watch it come to life.
When you're in pain, you need more than just a doctor. You need a problem solver. Count on All True Orthopedics and Sports Medicine and get back to what moves you.
It's hard to explain what this feels like. We could try to put it into words, but nothing compares to experiencing it for yourself. You just have to get in the seat.
Visit True North Equipment at any of our 10 locations or at www.truenorthequipment.com.
Whether it's a golf course, your lawn, a pasture on your farm, cover crop, or even a food plot to help you get that big buck, Rivard's Turf and Forage of Grand Forks has developed, mixed, and packaged the premium specialized seed you need for almost every application. Go to rivards.com.
Rivals on the ice, united in the stands, and everyone's geared up from Jarrell Sports Center and Hockey World. Hockey gear, fan apparel, Nodak Pride, we've got it all and more. Locally owned, 1004 South Washington Street. Shop local, shop Jarrell's.
Grand Trailer Sales in East Grand Forks is your go-to spot for enclosed utility, flatbed, and dump trailers in the Red River Valley. They have the biggest selection on hand of trailers with great pricing. If you're looking for parts, service, or simply to buy, GrandTrailersales.com.
This is the KNOX Intermission Report, presented by Grand Forks Welding and Machine, the Men of Steel, and High Plains Water, your source for awesome water.
Welcome back to our coverage of high school hockey tonight on the Rivard's Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network. KNOX Live Sports tonight from Eagles Arena and Blue Line Iceplex. Midtown Grand Forks got a good one going on here at girls play. Eagles, Knightriders were tied at 1 as we get ready to go into period number 3 tonight. Goal for the Knightriders in the first, a goal for Davies in the second. Let's run down our scoreboard tonight. Intermission brought to you by High Plains Water and Grand Forks Welding and Machine. And our scoreboard updates are brought to you tonight by All True. And we'll start with Grand Forks Central, who scored 5 goals in the first period tonight against Fargo North and then did not score in the second period of play. They continue to lead by a score of 5-0 after 2 periods of play in that one tonight. So the Grand Forks Central Knights just kind of holding on to control in that one. They had 34 shots on goal in the first 2 periods of play. Grand Forks Red River has opened things up a little bit after leading 1-0 after 1 on Fargo Davies. They now lead 6-1 in the third period of play tonight. That one probably still in progress. They've outshot Fargo Davies 39-14. Red River scored 3 times in the second. Mason Breno, Griffin Hoganson again, Cale Gruenberg, and then in the third, Caden Ulmer and Cale Gruenberg scored. Bo Rademacher comes back with a goal for Fargo Davies, but Gruenberg on the board with 2 goals tonight, and Griffin Hoganson on the board with a pair of goals tonight as well. So a nice night for Grand Forks Red River going on tonight down at Fargo Davies. That's a pivotal matchup inside the Eastern Dakota Conference tonight. Grafton Park Rivers in action tonight against Fargo Shanley. Shanley leading Grafton by a score of 4-1 after 2 periods of play. The Deacons score 3 times in the third period of play, and they have 4 goals from 4 different players in that one tonight. And we checked on the East Grand Forks score with Moorhead, and that was after a period of play. It was 1-0, I believe, East Grand Forks, and the shots were 6-4. Not an active first period of play between those 2 teams tonight.
East Side's Twitter made it sound like it wasn't very active. We
you
don't
never
know that.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, 6-4 doesn't sound very active, but 1-0 East Grand Forks over Moorhead in that matchup. We'll take one final break in our intermission report, and we come back with third period action next.
Ready to launch your future? At Northland Community and Technical College, opportunity starts here. Train for high-demand technical and skilled trades, or start with an affordable Associates of Arts degree and transfer with ease. Visit northlandcollege.edu.
The Kubota BX Series, rated #1 in durability and owner experience. Talk to your Kubota dealer to schedule a demo.
For expert sales and service, visit Acme Equipment or online at acmekubota.com.
The body shop you work with is your choice, so pick the local team with the service you trust. Modern Auto Body in Grand Forks can make it look like the accident never happened. Schedule an appointment for an estimate on our website or give us a call.
Welcome back to high school hockey tonight. The Rivard's Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network. Ryan Cunningham, Danny Mardo with you here tonight. So, Danny, I should ask, how's the baseball team looking this year? Are you still coaching that Central baseball team?
Yeah, I am.
I'm going to move this for you right about there. There you go. All right.
Yeah, I am. We returned pretty much everyone.
Okay.
We only had 2 seniors last year, so the only thing I don't know about is the freshman numbers coming up.
Sure.
Because we had 24 between the JV and varsity, so it makes it tough when we're playing doubleheaders all season this year. So hopefully we get some better numbers and the rosters can be a little bit deeper here.
So is that the thing? You're going to play varsity doubleheaders all season this year?
Yeah. Valley City is moving down a class, so we went from 12 teams to 11. So we had 2 pods. When you played outside your pod, we just played one 2-point game.
Sure.
When he played in your pod, he played 2 1-point games. So now they're just doing all 2 1-point games.
Okay.
So
all right.
it's
So
the-
you'd have
it's-
to go out and earn it every night, huh?
Yeah, it's the last plan that I heard. So
Okay.
yeah. So
Of course, the forecast calls for cooler than average weather into the spring. So maybe we'll be playing games by May. You never know.
yeah, maybe, and maybe by then they'll change their mind and just do 1 2-point game. So
We'll see what happens. We start the third period. For those of you that don't know, Danny Mardo is the head coach of the Grand Forks Central Knights baseball team. And it's been fun to have him here tonight. He's also got a couple of youngsters that play hockey. It's one of the reasons why he's here this evening. And it looks like, I'm taking a look at the screen, and I think we got things fixed. I'll tell you what, we were able to go to work on that camera in the second period. I think we got something figured out here. Knightriders puck in their end. Fargo Davies, they did a lot of this right around the net at the end of that second period. Puck pulled free by Elise Knapp. Knapp trying to step back behind the net, coming back out towards the near side. She gets held up against the wall. Puck back to Sydney Elliott now for Fargo Davies. Davies tied it with a goal late in that second period of play after a 1-0 lead held most of the second period for the Grand Forks Knightriders. Puck knocked loose. Mardo trying to chase it down. Up ice with an advantage, but couldn't come up with control of the puck. It comes back right side for Ellery Wilcox. Wilcox has it turned aside. This will come back over to the far side of the ice. Kilgore's there for the Knightriders. When the Knightriders step back up in the offensive end, Dusty Bollock, who's got the lone goal tonight for the Knightriders, steps back behind the net. Turns in the corner, played it up towards the crease, and it was deflected on the way through. Loose puck to Ellery Wilcox, and it's 2-on-1 the other way. Wilcox trying to get a nice pass away, and Annika Astrup, who was crashing through the slot, just ended up not being able to find control of the puck. Boy, Danny, that was a good play, just not the right result for Davies.
yeah, Davies caught the Knightriders with 4 girls down deep and only 1 back, and the puck got turned over, and they made a nice pass across, just out of her reach.
Really, really hard-fought physical battle in the corner for control of the puck. And Ella Yana, correction, not Yana, but Sigdahl, will bring it back out for the Knightriders. Played it back, but right to the point for the Eagles. They spray a puck in from the right side. That came off the right from Dybert. Correction from Frosley. And Frosley will turn it back into the goal. And there's a chance that comes out of the corner and scores, perhaps off the back of the goaltender for Grand Forks, Claire Fiala. It's going to make it 2-1 in favor of Fargo Davies. The Eagles will take the lead on a scrum out of the corner. Boy, let's take a look at this again and see how that came in. American Family Insurance, Tyler Nagel Agency replay. Puck there in the corner, and looks like it was just thrown towards the net and slipped through that time, and the goal should go for Sophia Rarick. And that will make it a 2-1 lead for Fargo Davies. It comes at the even 2-minute mark of the period.
Yeah, and credit Davies. They've come out this period and kind of taken it to the Knightriders. They came out with the energy, and if the Knightriders want to get back in this game, they're going to have to match that energy.
Well, the last, 5 minutes of gameplay have been really all Fargo Davies. They've really kind of dominated the action since then. Another puck out on top of the crease, and it seems like the Knightriders have been just a little bit lackadaisical with the puck in their own end here as of late. They'll send one back up the ice, and this will get through for icing, and we're coming back into the Grand Forks Knightriders zone for a draw, but we haven't seen a lot of urgency, it seems like, when the puck has been in their end, Danny.
Yeah, no, I don't know what's going on. If Davies is just that much quicker, or if it just no sense of urgency. But they're gonna have to find some here now down the goal.
They'll draw to the right of goaltender Claire Fiala. And the loose puck is picked up by Kira Botnin for Fargo Davies. Botnin sends it back into the neutral zone, found Reese Mahar. Mahar gets pulled down from behind. Puck goes loose to the far boards, and it's sent back into the corner. Eagles will come away with it. Puck picked up there by Olivia Simic, comes back to the point, and O'Connell will play it back down for the Knightriders. Back over to the far boards. Simic plays it back up into the neutral zone. And a rush towards the left wall by Gramelin puts in a shot from a steep angle, and then goes looking under the glove again after Fiala had silenced it up. And it looked like maybe Gravelin took a little shot in the back on the end of that as well, and will draw in the Knightriders zone. 13:59 to play in the third period on the All True scoreboard. And the Eagles have made it a 2-1 lead. over the Grand Forks Knightriders. Puck chipped off the boards, comes back out towards the left point. Sheely trying to hold one in. And a quick rebounded puck. Fiala got it chest high and tried to hold on, and an opportunistic Ellery Wilcox was there. Made some contact with Fiala. Looks like Davies is more than happy to frustrate the goaltender here, Danny.
Yeah, it's not a bad strategy.
We draw again in the far corner, and the puck will rotate back near side for Kendra Kuznia for the Knightriders. Kuznia sends it to the neutral zone. Great breakout pass. Mardo gets held up. This is going to be a body checking call against Fargo Davies. Took Mardo off her spot, and probably as good a body check call as you're going to see, right? I mean, that one was pretty easy to find. And Mardo had a step, got knocked around a little bit, and Grand Forks is going to go on the power play at 3:34 of the third period.
Yeah,
They're going to call it a tripping call.
See if they can do something with this and get themselves back in the game, because this first 3.5 minutes has been all Davies.
Yeah, this really seems like an important power play for the Knightriders. The penalty is going to go against number 19, Kendall Sheely, so they lose a defensive player as well. So Sheely out for a tripping call at 3:34, and a power play is back in the offing here for the Grand Forks Knightriders. Power play brought to you by RBB Electric, on call, on time, and online. RBBelectric.com. Mardo quarterbacking. Off towards the right, able to find Mahar. Now Mardo will take a spot right point. Shortens the distance, put it down to the doorstep. Had an opening with Dusty Bollock, couldn't find her. Puck comes loose towards the point, and they look on the near side point for Ella Yana. Yana forces it through, charges in towards the goal line, extended into the corner. Got bracketed up a little bit. Puck sneaks right out on top of the crease, and it will be cleared by the Eagles. Good clearing play that time coming from Sophia Rarick. Puck back over towards the far wall. Bollock picks it up in the neutral zone, mishandled it a little bit. Step in by Kilgore. Kilgore comes off the right board. Leaves it back towards Mardo, and Mahar will put it on Mardo's stick. Drive from the right point, knocked down by Supas. Kilgore looking to pick up a rebound. Turns it back to Mardo on the right wall. 50 seconds to play on the power play clock. A look by Yana. Back to Mardo. Drive into traffic. Knocked loose. Comes back here to Yana on the left point. Yana will turn it back down into the corner. Dusty Bollock is there. Back to Yana. Bollock again. Yana again with 35 seconds. A drive wide of the net. 30 seconds now on the power play clock. Mahar in the corner. Trying to dangle down the goal line extended from a steep angle. Got that one through the crease but wide. It's held in the corner by Yana. She plays it back towards the net. Back off to Mardo, high slot. Mardo taking a look. Comes to the right for Mahar. Back to Mardo. Mardo trying to dribble one through, and Supas will put a glove on top of it. Boy, that's a great cycle for the Knightriders. Just couldn't squeak one through.
Yeah, good puck movement. I wouldn't say they created a lot of grade A opportunities for themselves, but build a little momentum in the offensive zone here and see if they can't capitalize.
Played with some urgency in the corners, which I like. The puck got down there and they kept it there. Knightriders win a draw here. 10 seconds left of the power play. Another drive into traffic that goes wide of the net. A step in, Hazel O'Connell trying to pinch and hold this puck in the offensive end as the power play expires. Comes back to the high slot. Knightriders are a bit out of position to hold it. Botnan ends up having to step back into the neutral zone. Fights her way back up in the offensive end. Reach back for Sigdahl trying to hold on to possession. She'll turn it over, and Olivia Simic will come back up the ice. Simic off the far boards. Played by Bakken for Fargo Davies. And this will be picked off by Chloe Groven for the Knightriders. Groven squeezes a pass through into the neutral zone. Bounced off the wall and back into the Eagles' end. Long rush to get to it this time, and the run for Sydney Elliott will pick it up in the far corner. Then she turned it over. Signal taking like, put it out in front. There's a loose puck there, and a score for the Knightriders. The Knightriders will come in and score on a rebounded puck led out of the corner, and it looks as though the goal is going to go to Chloe Erickson, who comes dashing in and picks up a rebounded puck to tie the game at 2 apiece.
I think that was Ella Bry.
It may be. Let's see. I thought 13 came over in the celly.
I think it was 23.
Let's take a look at it again, and we'll see what we can find here on the American Family Insurance Tyler Nagel Agency replay. I would tend to agree with you. That's probably where that goal would have come from. Boy, that looks like 13 down there, though. Didn't see a uniform turn around. We'll see they announce the goal for him. In the meantime, the goal will come at 6:03 of the period. They did give it to Ella Bry. We're going to go ahead and go with your call, Danny. So Bry will get the goal at 6:03 of the frame. Oh, my apologies, folks. We got to get the game back on for you here. So Bry will score at 6:03. That'll tie it up at 2. But this game takes on new life again here.
Yeah, and actually it was good to see her get rewarded for that because she's the one that started that forecheck. And Chesney got the puck behind the net. I actually thought Chesney was going to walk out and create an angle for herself. She tried to stuff it to Groven, and the goalie actually batted the pass, which went right to Bry.
And the Knightriders take control of a draw again. Kuznia sends it into traffic. Mardo comes over trying to take control of it, and then battles on the wall and got it back to Kuznia. Right side, Kilgore with some space. Kilgore, a wrister that gets knocked down on the way through. She'll get it back and chip it off the glass into the corner. Yana trying to chase it down, charges towards the net. Left it behind the net, tried to send a pass out to Mardo. Mardo gets corralled into the corner, and a play from Autumn Norhagen. Steps out as a fourth liner here. A turn, they play it back down, a quick wrister that goes wide. Supis will reach back and cover it up after a play towards the net that came from Nora Hale. But the Knightriders seem to have recaptured some magic here, Danny.
Yeah, they're moving their feet and playing hard, and this is going to be a fun, quick third period, I think, because the way Davies came out and now the way the Knightriders have responded. So
10:08 to play in the third. Tied at 2, 3 big points in the statewide standings on the line here tonight. Puck goes back behind the net. Gravelin will take control for Davies. Tried to rotate it out, but it was lost in the neutral zone. A chip off the wall near side, and Jasmine Dybert, who has a goal, picks this one up and sends it back into the Grand Forks Knightriders end. Dusty Bollock is back to pick it up for the Knightriders, and we'll see a whistle in the Knightriders zone. May have been touched by the bench.
Yeah, it's hard to tell down there.
Wait and see where we're at here. Yeah, we don't have the best of angles down there, that's for sure. They did go final, by the way, tonight down at Fargo Davies. 6-1 your final score. Red River gets the win tonight over Fargo Davies. Puck picked up. Hudson Hofer steps up the ice for the Eagles. Hit from behind, wrestled towards the corner. This has been a physical hockey game. Shot comes through, knocked away as Fiala tried to reach out for it. There was a bobble right on top of the crease, and the puck rotated back out towards the right corner. Eagles continue to attack. Hofer with a drive. Fiala makes a stop, reaches out trying to cover. There's a scramble on in front of the net. And Fiala will hold on for the whistle with 9:18 left to go of the third period. Well, now all of a sudden the urgency is taken over for both teams. Every time there's something in the offensive zone, everybody's got an extra step.
Yeah, they really they do, and everyone's driving that net, and defensemen are protecting their goalies, and forwards are taking an extra shot at the goalie, and this is going to turn into a feisty one, I think.
I believe so. These are big points and a big matchup in the statewide conference standings. Puck fought free as far as the line. Comes back over towards the right. Bit of a mishandle that time by Kendra Kuznia for Grand Forks, trying to find a puck. It goes loose back behind the net. O'Connell stepped in to take a touch. Ella Bry, who just scored the tying goal for Grand Forks, with a touch of it as well. Turned it back towards the half wall. Knightriders try to get back up into the offensive end. Bry with it in the neutral zone. Turns, gets corralled right in front of the scorer's box. And the loose puck's picked out of there by Knapp for Fargo Davies. Knapp trying to pull free and backhands one to the far corner. Back to get it, Chesney Sigdahl for the Knightriders. We're halfway through the third period. 2-2 your score on the All-True scoreboard. Loose puck to Kendall Sheely. Sheely had it and lost it for the Eagles. It'll be scooped up in the neutral zone by Olivia Simic, and now we have a whistle. And it looks like another too many players on the ice call that could be coming up here, I believe, against the Eagles. Let's see. Yep, they're going to get the Eagles for too many players. The time of the penalty will be at 8 minutes and 38 seconds, and that's going to bring us to a media stoppage. So timeout for media with 8:22 to play, and the Knightriders go on the power play when we return. 2-2 your score on the Rivard's Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network.
Open all year round to the public, Eagles Crest offers space for holiday parties and family get-togethers. And of course, daily specials, appetizers, and all your favorites, including Sunday brunch buffets. Come in for the view and delicious meals at Eagles Crest Grill.
If you've got an electrical emergency, call RBB Electric. We are your 24/7 electrician. Your call will always be answered by an RBB employee ready to help 24/7. RBB Electric is on time every time. Your time is valuable, and we don't waste it. RBB Electric always calls ahead to schedule service. We are online always. If you suffer from slow download speeds, call our certified network designers and installers. On call, on time, and online. RBB Electric won't leave you in the dark. RBB Electric, your 24/7 electricians.
2-2 your score as we get ready to go to a power play for the Grand Forks Knightriders. They did, I believe, go final tonight, and Grand Forks Central tacks on a goal in the third. Is that a final score? Nope, still in progress. 6-0 your score. Grand Forks Central on top now. A goal in the third period down at Fargo North tonight for Ryder Rivard. 6 goals, 6 different players tonight for Grand Forks Central. Here, 2-2 in a pivotal matchup in the statewide standings between Grand Forks and Fargo Davies. And it's time for a power play brought to you by RBB Electric. On call, on time, and online. RBBElectric.com. The Knightriders looking to take a lead in the third period on the player advantage. Sigdahl looking towards the near side. O'Connell back to Sigdahl. High slot wrister blocked. Ends up floating out to the neutral zone. The race is on for it. Annika Astrup got there first for Davies. Holds on and finds Hudson Hofer, who tries to put a shot in play. And that will be blocked into the corner. And now Hofer and Astrup are going to go to work trying to hold the puck down in the Knightriders zone. It'll spray back out into the neutral zone. Long rush to get to it. This comes back to Astrup on the left, and she'll play it free of Sigdahl and dump it back into the Knightriders' end. So Hofer and Sigdahl doing a nice job for Davies, trying to limit the power play opportunities. And now Elise Knapp dangles through everybody, puts a shot in on Fiala, who transitions it back into the corner. But the first half of the power play here for the Knightriders has been all Fargo Davies taking advantage of a turnover. With a minute left on the power play clock, here comes Sigdahl for Grand Forks. Sigdahl trying to step through defenders, got corralled on her left side by Olivia Simic, ends up going back behind the net. Dybert will turn it back over to the far side. This one will make a run back to the neutral zone. It was held by Eliana, and now the Knightriders turn back up the ice. Puck knocked free, and again back in the neutral zone. The Knightriders have to get back on side. Mardo is waiting for the puck back on the Knightrider blue line. She'll send it off towards the right, and a step up for Dusty Bollock. Bollock drives into the corner. 25 seconds left of the power play. They finally get started. Mardo looking back at a touch pass to the right for Mahar. High slot, a look by Yana, couldn't get a shot away. Kilgore into traffic, steep angle, hit the side of the net. 15 seconds left of the power play. This will turn back behind the net. Taken back by Mahar. Looking high, finding Yana into traffic, deflected wide. 5 seconds left of the power play. The puck will stay in the offensive end. Mardo gets a touch on the point. This will be chipped back to the corner. Now to Mardo, high slot, touch pass that no one was looking for, and this will be deflected back to the neutral zone. The Eagles did a really nice job in the first minute of that power play, and now Mardo making a pass back across her own slot. Emmeline Amundsen trying to touch it up for the Eagles. Got it back as far as the Grand Forks Knightrider line. A chip by Mardo to neutral ice. That'll be run down by Lauren Gravelin for Fargo Davies. Gravelin a chance. That's off the end of the stick from Fiala. Fiala turns it back to the far wall. We're down to 5 minutes, 45 seconds left of the third. Tie matchup between the Knightriders and Davies at 2 apiece. Puck off the wall from Yana, trying to force it into the neutral zone. Now we'll see Hudson Hofer with a chance at it. Ended up taking over on a turnover. Then the puck was lost, and a tripping call coming up against Fargo Davies. And we're going to see the Knightriders go back on the power play, as a call was for too many players on the last power play. And now this will be a tripping call that will come at 11:32 against Fargo Davies. And again, the Knightriders will go on the player advantage.
Yeah, it was a big kill for Davies on the last one, and this one's going to be an even bigger kill. So.
And again, they're going to lose the services of a defender. And we're going to see a timeout taken by Grand Forks, I believe. So a timeout is taken. Timeout for our friends at Big Jim's Tire, your #1 supplier of ag tires in the region, and Apex Apparel, your hometown quick turnaround, family-owned and operated promotional shop in Grand Forks. 2-2 with 5:28 left in the third. Back with more in a moment.
Whether it's a golf course, your lawn, a pasture on your farm, cover crop, or even a food plot to help you get that big buck, Rivard's Turf and Forage of Grand Forks has developed, mixed, and packaged the premium specialized seed you need for almost every application. Go to rivards.com.
Rivals on the ice, united in the stands, and everyone's geared up from Jarrell Sports Center and Hockey World. Hockey gear, fan apparel, Nodak Pride, we've got it all and more. Locally owned, 1004 South Washington Street. Shop local, shop Jarrell's.
Grand Trailer Sales in East Grand Forks is your go-to spot for enclosed utility, flatbed, and dump trailers in the Red River Valley. They have the biggest selection on hand of trailers with great pricing. If you're looking for parts, service, or simply to buy, GrandTrailersSales.com.
Once again, the Knightriders are going to go on a power play with 5:28 left to go here in the third period. The game tied at 2 apiece between Fargo Davies and Grand Forks. Power play brought to you by RBB Electric, on call, on time, and online. RBBelectric.com. 2-2 your score. Each team has scored here in the third. And it's a tripping penalty that's taken for Fargo Davies by Kendall Shealy, who's one of their defensive players as well. So this will be a kill for the Eagles without one of their main defensive players. Mardo handing off towards the right for Mahar. Now to the near side, Yana. And back to Mardo, who steps out of the right circle to take it back out to the line. Mardo a look, back towards the right circle, drive into traffic, deflected up in the air. That came out of the circle that time from Mahar for Grand Forks. Mardo, high slot again. Takes a look, that's all clogged up. They're doing a pretty nice job of just clogging right in front of Mardo. She'll put one into traffic, got one through, but it's deflected wide. Loose puck out of the corner, steered free by Bollock. One-timer driven wide to the net that time as it came out to the high slot, where it was picked up there for the Knightriders by Eliana and driven back to the neutral zone. And here comes Hudson Hofer for Fargo Davies. And a weak transition play that time by Fiala, but she got enough of it with Mardo coming back into the zone. But Hofer's going to take control now for Fargo Davies, and the Eagles look to go on some offense with 55 seconds of Grand Forks' power play remaining. Loose puck to Mardo behind the Knightriders net. She looks to engineer a breakout for Grand Forks. Mardo will chip it off the wall, absorbs a bit of contact, got into the corner, tried to wrestle it down but couldn't hold it there. Simic came away with it, then turned it over. Mardo a chip right in front of the crease. Comes back out high. This one knocked loose by Chloe Groven. She'll go into the corner. And Groven comes to a snowplow stop. Turns it back off high. Puck taken by Yana. Back to Groven in the corner. Tries to fight it free from some pressure that was applied by Grenna Henry. It'll go loose. Groven again trying to tiptoe down the goal line extended. Back behind the net. Turns. Plays it out high. Picked up there. Turned by Sigdahl just wide of the net. Rebounded. Puck stuck in the net. It scores!
Again.
Now LeBry picks up a rebounded puck on the right side on a shot from the high slot. Second power play goal of the game. Second goal of the period for Bry. It comes at 13:25, and the Knightriders lead 3-2.
Right place, right time, and it's been some weird bounces off those boards tonight. And
let's see it again in the American Family Insurance Tyler Nagel Agency replay. This sets up with a shot from the high slot. A puck that stays on the forehand side, driven in, and there's the rebounded puck just waved at, and Ella Bry has her second goal of the period. And the Knightriders take a 3-2 lead over Fargo Davies with 3.5 minutes to play in the third. Shots are now 20-20, and the next goal, obviously a big goal with the Knightriders on top by one. They go up 2 here. They could basically put it away, but you're going to see a very frantic Fargo Davies team that's had all the opportunity to generate offense when they've wanted to here in the rather second and third period. Puck near side, Frosley will dump it up into the offensive end, and the Knightriders look to chase it down. They'll take a step in front of Sophia Rarick. Played back towards the slot, chipped back out into the neutral zone by Elena Mardo. Mardo charging after it, went loose. This will be chipped off the glass, and see an icing call coming up against the Knightriders.
Right idea, just a little hit a driver, not a sand wedge.
Our coverage brought to you tonight by PS Garage Doors, where the PS stands for perfect service. If you need perfect service on your garage door, you need PS Garage Doors. Call 772-DOOR. That's 772-DOOR for PS Garage Doors. Devils Lake Grand Forks, puck loose in the circle, blazed at the net, and it trickles just wide. Knapp got a piece of that and couldn't find the right angle to get it in. Puck back out to the point. Knightriders trying to block a shot. Back off high, picked up there by Jasmine Dybert, who's got a goal tonight for the Eagles. Out in front again, and a big defensive play that time by Dusty Bollock, actually rather by Kendra Kuznia to hold that play up. Knapp on the left wall, turns it back down the boards. It's being knocked free by Dusty Bollock this time, and comes back up into the neutral zone. Sigdahl trying to drive it up into the offensive end for the Knightriders. She does, looks to keep it up front, was able to find a play right side. Groven driving in, turns one wide of the net. Puck back out towards the point. Kuznia trying to hold the point for the Knightriders. We're inside of 2 minutes to play now in the third period. The Knightriders with a power play goal just a minute and a half ago, taking a 3-2 lead after trailing 2-1. Puck loose in the neutral zone. Bollock will send it back in. Knightriders are offside. They have to clear out. Hallie Bakken goes back to get to it. This will be sent through. This will be an icing call coming up against Davies with 1:38 to go. And now the Eagles obviously have to be thinking about getting up the ice and going 6-on-5 with 1:37 to go.
Yeah, I'd imagine that if they get a next whistle anywhere in the neutral zone, never mind.
Yeah, they're going to
they'll call their timeout, but they're going to take it now.
They're going to take the timeout now, so we'll do the same with 1:37 left in regulation. Grand Forks leading 3-2 over Fargo Davies. We're back with more in a couple of moments on high school hockey.
Signature Graphics in East Grand Forks is your one-stop shop for all your branding and design needs. From embroidery, vinyl wrapping, laser print, and more, fully customized from start to finish, all in-house. Signature Graphics. We craft your vision. You watch it come to life.
When you're in pain, you need more than just a doctor. You need a problem solver. Count on All True Orthopedics and Sports Medicine and get back to what moves you.
It's hard to explain what this feels like. We could try to put it into words, but nothing compares to experiencing it for yourself. You just have to get in the seat.
Visit True North Equipment at any of our 10 locations or at www.truenorthequipment.com.
Fargo Davies calls their timeout, brought to you by Apex Apparel and Promotions and Big Jim's Tire. So the Eagles come up with a game plan for the final 1:37. 3-2 your score. Grand Forks, the Knightriders with 2 goals coming from number 23, Ella Bry, to tie the game and then give the Knightriders the lead on the power play. And the Knightriders win a draw in the Fargo Davies zone. Puck off the far boards, played back into the neutral zone, picked up rather quickly and a reach by Sophia Rarick. Here comes a 3-on-2. Hofer getting a shot away. Big save that's made by Claire Fiala, holding on to one. Fargo Davies, I thought, believed they had scored, but it looked like Fiala had made the stop. No goal was indicated, and will draw coming up in the Knightriders zone.
Yeah, not really how you draw that up if you're the Knightriders. You win the face-off, and the last place you want the puck to be is at the blue line, and that's where it was.
And so we go back to work. An edge is lost up front, that time coming in from Sophia Rarick. Puck goes to the far wall. Hofer trying to get back to it. Turns it back to the corner, actually to the circle for Rarick. And now the goal is empty on the Fargo Davies side. So it's 6-on-5. The Eagles with the extra attacker, trailing by a score of 3-2. Put out in front of the net. Fiala reaching, trying to cover, and she does. What a play for Fiala, reaching out to cover that one up to keep Grand Forks in it with 59.9 seconds to go. Man, oh man, you feel like they're going to have to win every second that's remaining to get out of here with a victory tonight.
Yeah, Davies is putting on good pressure. Grand Forks got to find a way to win some puck battles along the wall here and kill this last minute of this period.
59.9 seconds left to go in the matchup. 3-2, the Knightriders on top. Off the draw, quick wrister coming from Rarick. Ends up wide into the far corner. And a puck knocked off the far boards. Mardo trying to get to it. It snuck back into the neutral zone. And the Eagles have to get back on side. Dybert trying to hold it up. It's up against the wall. Goes back to the Eagles line. Picked there by Bakken. And Bakken steps up. Back to Rarick. Mishandled. Actually knocked off her stick. An attempt to clear. Came out as far as the line. Remains 6-on-5. The extra attacker on the ice. Hofer in the corner. had that one picked away. Knightriders attempt to clear, comes back to center. Mardo with an opportunity to get it up as far as the neutral zone. 20 seconds left to go, down to 15. Knightriders trying to hold on to the puck with possession in the corner. Comes back out again to Rarick. She puts a shot up and over the bar and a flutterer. Down to 10 seconds. Bollock will pit it up against the wall. Down to 5 seconds. We've got 7 players up against the end wall. Time's going to run out, and Grand Forks will escape with a victory. What a finish to that one. 3-2. The Knightriders come from behind to win the game in the third period. And the final minutes, absolute desperation. I'll tell you what, Danny, that's exactly what tournament hockey looks like when you've got a couple of teams that are in a big spot. The Knightriders hold on to get this one tonight.
Yeah, it was a great hockey game and a great finish. I mean, Davies battled hard till the very end, and, you know, this could be a rematch that you see game 1 of the state tournament.
Yeah.
The way, I mean, potentially things could shake out here. So
absolutely. Grand Forks gets the victory tonight. Improves to 13-2. They'll pick up 3 points in the league standings. This will tie them with Legacy Bismarck for second place in the statewide standings, and Legacy Bismarck rolling in this weekend. So that game now becomes absolutely huge between the Knightriders and Legacy Bismarck this weekend.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so Grand Forks going out west, and they got Dickinson first, and then Bismarck Legacy next. So,
okay. And it's on the road, not here. It's on the road.
It's on the road, and Dickinson played the Knightriders super tough in their first one, too. So, I mean, none of them are easy at this point.
Yeah, I didn't realize that the game with Dickinson was in front of that, so we'll leave that out there for now. But you had to get this one tonight, and the Knightriders do, and they win by a final score of 3-2. We're going to take a brief break. We're going to come back with a brief post-game report, start wrapping things up tonight from Blue Line Ice Complex. We'll go through the highlights and our player awards all next. This is our coverage of high school hockey on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network and KNOX Live Sports.
Spray Advantage of Grand Forks carries everything you need for the chemical and fertilizer application on your farm. Pumps, tips, and tanks from 3 gallons all the way up to 10,000 gallons on hand. They can help with parts and accessories for the fertilizer and tillage equipment on your farm too. SprayAdvantage.com.
Apex Apparel is your quick turnaround apparel and promotional item shop in Grand Forks. If you're looking for direct-to-garment printing, embroidery work, or a huge selection of promotional items, come to Apex Apparel, your locally owned, family-run, quick turnaround apparel shop in Grand Forks.
The Ski and Bike Shop in Grand Forks. Gear up for ski season or hit the trails on a fat tire bike. At the Ski and Bike Shop, we offer top brands, ski and snowboard service, and everything you need for cold weather fun. The Ski and Bike Shop in Grand Forks, where your next adventure begins.
This is the KNOX post-game show. Brought to you by the Ski and Bike Shop and Spray Advantage.
Welcome back to our coverage of high school hockey on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network. Well, somebody decided to pull my cords and turn my scoreboard off down there. They're getting out of here quick tonight. Post-game report brought to you by Spray Advantage. Everything you need for spraying an application on your farm. The difference between Spray Advantage and their competitors is that Spray Advantage has what you're looking for in stock. Tips, tanks, nozzles, pumps, grain carts, seed tenders. 2 locations to serve you in Grand Forks and St. Thomas. Spray Advantage, make them a part of your agricultural game plan now and for years to come. And brought to you tonight as well by the Ski and Bike Shop, where your next adventure awaits. They've got the Trek bicycles that are the highest quality bike that you're looking for. The big fat tires on some of those as well, so you can get out and churn up even the snow at this time of the year. And not only that, but they can fit you up for some boots if you're looking to go snowboarding or skiing, of course. The Ski and Bike Shop will keep you moving this winter. Ski and Bike Shop, where your next adventure awaits. Well, 2-1 Fargo Davies. 3 goals get scored in the third period tonight. And Grand Forks with a pair of back-to-back goals tonight from Ella Bry. And you know what stands out to me, Danny, is that those goals that were scored tonight by both Davies and Grand Forks were kind of what you describe as gritty area goals. Not really pretty. You know, one shot from the point, just a shot on net with some traffic in front. And then the other goals that were right around the crease for Grand Forks, both couple of rebounded pucks. I mean, the little things got it done around the net tonight for both teams.
Yeah, I think Grand Forks' combined distance from the goal line was probably about 5 feet
on
all 3 goals. And, Davies' second goal was kind of the same way, just a weird behind-the-net shot that hit off the back of the goalie and went in. And but really hard-played hockey game, and it was a nice bounce back from Grand Forks. Help of a couple power plays in that third period. But after going down 2-1, the pushback came back, and then Davies pushed back again in that last 2 minutes and pulled their goalie and made it an adventure out of it.
I'll tell you what, it's going to be a 3-point night tonight for Ella Bry and a 3-point night tonight for Chesney Sigdahl as well. And, you know, we talked about Eliana kind of stepping in and moving into that scoring spot, that number 3 spot for Grand Forks. Well, Ella Bry shows what she can do with 3 points tonight, 2 goals and an assist. And that's what we're talking about, that depth that continues to build for the Knightriders.
Yeah, that depth's been coming and building, and you know, Eliana and Ella Bry were playing together for a while, and so that chemistry started to come, and then you know, they started to put some pucks into the back of the net, and so now he's kind of moved some stuff around and mismatching lines, mixing them, however you want to say that, and he's finding success. So, you know, 3 from Chesney, 3 from Ella Bry. You know, Chloe Groban was on the ice for that last one. I don't know if she got a point, but
she did.
You know, so. You know, you're starting to see different line combinations and things that are actually working out for them instead of just kind of just rolling the same old. So
big game tonight. Let's take a look at the highlights in this one. American Family Insurance, Tyler Nagel, your agent, bringing you the highlights. And this was the opening goal of the night, and this is one of those rebounded goals that we're talking about. Shot from the circle that ends up in front of Dusty Bollock, and Bollock makes it 1-0 in favor of Grand Forks. That was the end of the first period, but the second period mostly played in Fargo Davies' end, and then you see that shot coming from Jasmine Dybert from the right point. It got through. We were tied at 1 going into the third, and this was the goal that was scored by Sophia Rarick. Just kind of sneaks through, maybe off a pad or something like that, on goaltender Clara Fiala, or rather, I believe it was Clara Fiala, and that made it a 2-1 lead in favor of Fargo Davies. But back-to-back goals for Ella Bry for Grand Forks, and both of them fought out of the corner. Here's Bry coming in, little rebounded puck on the near side after a play that came out of the corner that tied it at 2. And then here's the game winner, and again, it's Bry. This starts on the high slot with a drive that goes wide of the net. Bry just waiting there, right place, right time, picks it up. That turns out to be the game winner tonight for the Knightriders, and the Knightriders win it by a final score of 3-2. And we'll show you the standings coming into tonight. These will change now, but what you'll see on your screen, folks, is Grand Forks moves to 12-2 in the conference, 36 points tonight. They're the only team to get points because there was only 1 game in the statewide standings this evening, so that pulls them even with Bismarck Legacy, and Bismarck Legacy has played 15 games. Grand Forks Central's played 14, so Grand Forks has played 14, so an opportunity here to try to move into that number 2 spot, keep the pressure on Fargo North-South. And for Fargo Davies, they're going to stay at 25 points tonight. Still in a matchup for that number 5-6 spot with West Fargo United and Mandan. That's just a logjam right there in the middle of the girls' standings tonight.
Yeah, and it seems like on any given night, there's kind of been, I don't know if you want to call them upsets just based on the rankings, but that 4, 5, 6, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 spot is all kind of, teams are kind of beating up on each other a little bit, and you know, so it should make for entertaining state tournament, and really no freebies in the first round, so to speak. So.
Absolutely, yeah. You know, what we see kind of happening if you take a look at those standings is there's kind of a divider between Century and Davies for the top 4, and then you've got a run here for 5, 6, 7, you know, where you're going to have some mixing and matching, and then that last spot in the state tournament's going to be a battle too, 14, 12, 10 points between Minot United, Jamestown, Williston. A lot of teams, a lot to play for still going into the final stretch.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's good. It's good that the parity is the way it is, and that, you know, obviously north-south, everyone's still trying to catch, and, you know, a couple teams that are right behind them, and then, you know, obviously Devil's Lake took some teams to overtime this year, but, you know, they fought hard. It's just kind of they haven't found a way to get on the win column. So.
Absolutely. I'll tell you what, though, before we go to our scoring summary, just want to mention, you know, we were here and had a chance to watch this tonight, and this is 2 pretty good teams. And I know that sometimes girls hockey can get a rep of being a little slower, right, and not maybe, you know, too much ice and that type of thing, especially if you have a really good team up against a team that might not be as skilled. But you put a couple of skilled teams on the ice. This was an entertaining hockey game to watch tonight. It really was fun.
Yeah, and I think I think the girls' side of it is getting better, and like I said, it's good to see the parity. You know, you have this stuff in the fall with Team North Dakota, and I think there's more former players getting involved in some of the whether it be college or high school, coming back, helping programs, doing camps and stuff like that. So there's starting to be more ice time for the girls, and so you're starting to see that kind of play out. a little bit. And yeah, you're right. When you get two competitive teams that play hard and play the right way, you get checking penalties, and you end up with 10 penalties tonight, and some scrums in front of the net, and there was some good hockey played, and some greasy goals scored.
I thought it
real fancy from goals wise, but
I thought it was good, though. I really thought we had a very entertaining hockey game tonight. Let's go through our post-game awards tonight. Our 3 stars of the game, brought to you by PS Garage Doors. PS Garage Doors, where the PS stands for perfect service. It also stands for puck stopper. If your garage door has stopped one too many pucks and it's time to upgrade that garage door this year, PS Garage Doors can install that new garage door, and they'll take care of all the work for you as well. Those of you in agriculture, if your implements are getting too big for the barn, they'll come out and widen the door frame and then also install the right garage door. They do all the work themselves. PS Garage Doors, call 772-DOOR. That's 772-DOOR for PS Garage Doors. Well, this might take care of itself here tonight. But, Danny, here's what I'm thinking as far as 3 stars of the game. You got Chesney Sigdahl on the board with 3 assists tonight. Probably a good number 3. Dusty Bollock gets the scoring started tonight. Nice play around the net. Probably a number 2. And then Ella Bry, back-to-back goals to tie and win it. Probably got to be the first star, don't you?
I think so. I mean, it's hard to argue with that. Claire Fiala played a good game in the net. And I don't know. Obviously, hats off to the Davies goalie, too. She played well, too, but ended up on the losing end of it. But hard to argue with those 3.
Yeah, we'll take those 3 as our 3 stars of the game tonight. And there's a reason why we leave Claire Fiala out of the mix. I'll tell you about that here in a second. But our 3 stars of the game tonight, number 3 star Chesney Sigdahl, number 2 Dusty Bollock, number 1 for Ella Bry here this evening. We'll go to the scoring summary for you coming up in a second. We'll take you through that scoring summary. We have another award, Danny, called the Finest Auto Trim Finest Cover of the Game. That's our defensive award that we have for tonight. And it's brought to you by Finest Auto Trim. Big or small, they cover it all. Finest Auto Trim specializing in recovering vehicle, boat seats, agricultural seats. They've even done aircraft. But if those seats aren't giving you the support that you need, then you need Finest Auto Trim. Get those seats redone so that you're ready to go, particularly those of you in agriculture. Be ready to do that so that you can hit the ground running this spring with seats that are going to give you support. Finest Auto Trim, big or small, they cover it all. And absolutely, Claire Fiala, she made not just the number of saves. I think the final number that she made was 18 tonight, but she made some really important ones down the stretch when Fargo Davies was all out trying to tie the game.
Yeah, and I mean, that sometimes it's key. It's maybe not just the number of shots on net or things of that nature. Even first period when it was kind of Davies, she made a couple saves on a couple 2-on-1s, and then pressure late. She stood her ground and was big in the net. So hats off to her. She played a good game for not getting as many starts this season. So.
Yeah, and the final number was 20 saves that she made in this one tonight. 22 shots for Fargo Davies. She makes 20 saves in this one this evening. Let's go through the scoring summary with Who Lit the Lamp, brought to you by Bergstrom Electric. They make the lamp and the light shine brighter at Bergstrom Electric. We mentioned 2 3-point nights tonight. Chesney Sigdahl with 3 assists this evening. She assists on all 3 goals. And Ella Bry scores twice this evening, back-to-back in the third period. So 2 goals tonight for Ella Bry, and she assisted on Dusty Bollock's goal back in the first period as well. So 3 points tonight for Chesney Sigdahl on 3 assists for the Knightriders. 3 points this evening tonight for Ella Bry. 2 goals and an assist this evening. And also a goal for Dusty Bollock and an assist for Chloe Groven tonight. So that would be the final numbers when it comes down to points. But again, Who Lit the Lamp tonight, brought to you by Bergstrom Electric. They make the lamp and the light shine brighter. Ella Bry strikes twice with 2 goals and an assist. And 3 points tonight for Chesney Sigdahl on 3 assists. And really nice game from them here tonight. I know Elena Mardo leads this team in scoring, and she got all of it. We watched it tonight. When she touched the puck, 2 and 3 defenders around her. And so obviously teams are going to game plan a little bit like that when you got to play them second half. It's good to see those other players get in when you've got somebody occupying some attention like that.
Yeah, and it's nice to see too. Like the puck movement on the power play was really nice, and just the puck movement in general. And then, like I said, establish that forecheck, and that's how they scored. The game tying goal was just started in, bring a puck to the net. So good to see from those other girls that 3-point nights for 2 of them, and it was a good hockey game.
Yeah, absolutely. Good stuff tonight. Final thing that we do tonight, Northland Community and Technical College brings you Goals Against Hunger this evening. Northland Community and Technical College has partnered with KNOX Sports to fight hunger in our region. And we score goals, we score points. However we do it, money is raised for the Pioneer Food Pantry in East Grand Forks, donation made by Northland Community and Technical College. And again, you can get your start on that liberal arts degree that will give you the opportunity to move in so many different career fields and do it for less in your own backyard in East Grand Forks, Minnesota. Northland Community and Technical College bringing you our goals against hunger. 3 of them tonight for Grand Forks and the Knightriders. That means it'll be $3 that will be raised tonight with a donation coming from East Grand Forks' Northland Community and Technical College to the Pioneer Food Pantry. Big nights down in Fargo tonight. The Rough Riders get a big win this evening as they knock off Fargo Davies by a score of 6-1. And Central with a 7-0 win tonight, final score, as they defeat Fargo North after a hot start where they scored 5 in the first period. They end up scoring 2 more in the third period. I think Cooper DeZiel ends up with a 3-point night. Let's see, scored in the first period, scored in the third period, had an assist there as well. So Cooper DeZiel, nice night tonight. He scores 2 goals tonight for the for the Knights, and 7 goals from 6 different players tonight. So here we are at the end of January, Danny. Things are starting to get important. Tournament times less than a month away now. So all these games beginning to matter. You're starting to feel it just a little bit. I think we felt it in the third period tonight, the urgency that the season's beginning to take on.
Yeah, absolutely. It's good to play these type of games before you get into the state tournament and know what you're made of and to play some of these close ones. And obviously it's better to end up on the winning side. But even for Fargo Davies, they're going to take out of this, hey, we can play in these games. And
sure,
we didn't panic, and we had chances at the end of the game to tie this game. So that's all you can ask for going into tournament time is play high-quality games and get you ready.
Absolutely. Coach, thank you for being here tonight. I appreciate you
for
joining
having
me tonight. Danny Mardo joining us for color commentary and analysis tonight. Joey Springer was our videographer this evening. I'm Ryan Cunningham. And again, your final score tonight from Blue Line Iceplex is Grand Forks 3 and Fargo Davies 2. Thank you for joining us tonight on the Rivards Turf and Forage Grand Trailer Sales Sports Network and KNOX Live Sports.